go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party. Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tosh.
It's Wilde and Touch, isn't it?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Thursday edition. We are 1 week away from the start of the NFL draft and the first round in which the Packers do not have a pick edition. Talk about that. That's got to be part of the lack of buzz. The Packers are getting Dexter Lawrence. And they're getting Bonds and Griffey and Tartable and Why'd You Ever Trade Jay Buhner edition. And I was listening to Jesse's Sports Center on ESPN Madison, and I still can't get over how, dare I say, dismissive Barry Alvarez was of his hand-picked successor leaving the university the way he did edition of Wilde and Tausch. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the amazing, stupendous, magnificent ESPN Wisconsin app, which is all free, all customizable, so you can move Wilde and Tausch right into that first spot so you can easily access it. And you can find it both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, where he belongs in his undisclosed location. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Jesse just jumped in with, I thought, an interesting, I know we're going to get into the draft and all the other stuff, but an interesting little dynamic that he has seen in his analytic review of our interview with the old ball coach yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, great. All right, great job, Jesse. Could you be less excited?
I don't know if I'd call it an analytic review, but here's what I'd say. The analytics say everybody wanted to hear what Barry Alvarez had to say yesterday. The numbers were big up on consumption of the Wilde and Tausch program yesterday. So if you're back for day 2 and you just discovered us yesterday, subscribe to the ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels, and download the ESPN Wisconsin app so you can join us every day. There's that. Okay. Now, there seem to be 2 very strongly opinionated groups of people following our conversation with Barry Alvarez yesterday. There is one group, and this is on social media, word of mouth, all of it.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, I'm getting private texts from people who may or may not be having new additions to their family in the next week or so, among others. There's one group of people that is all in on Barry Alvarez, get him involved, go back to what made Wisconsin great. We never should have deviated from that blueprint. How dare we think we are better than that? And then there's this other group that says, keep that guy as far away and out of Wisconsin athletics as possible. He's part of the reason we're in this mess. And there's really no middle ground between those two different schools of thought. And it's been fascinating seeing the clips that are shared from his appearance yesterday and how strong the opinions on both sides of that are, with really nobody in between. It's been fascinating to see how that's developed over the last 24 hours.
So if I would say I want Barry involved, but I want him to have a voice in what's going on, but not the overarching, is that the middle ground? Or where do I fit in that then?
I think that's more on the end of you want him involved. You know what made Wisconsin. Like, I think all of us on this show, because of our connections to Barry Alvarez and because of how much and how highly we think of him, we all are in the school that he knows what's up at the University of Wisconsin. He knows what makes the program great. He built this thing, along with Pat Richter, into what it is now. Like, we are in that camp, I think, pretty solidly. And then there's this other group that just wants him nowhere near any of it and points to him as a big part of the blame for what's happened.
Can someone explain to me why you want nothing to do? Like, I understand he's older, he's golfing, he's walking the beach, he's not as dialed into the college football scene as he was. He obviously still knows, because football at the surface is always going to be about physicality, and like that is always going to be the case. But NIL and paying players, and so I understand that. But can someone give me an argument for why you wouldn't at least want to hear what Barry Alvarez has to say about this place, as he spent 35 years of his life pouring it into it and knows what was successful? That, I guess, I understand why you say he shouldn't hire the next coach. He shouldn't. I get all of that. But why anyone wouldn't want to utilize someone that has the knowledge institutionally to take advantage of that, I have a hard time understanding. Someone have to explain to me why you wouldn't want that.
Jesse, you have your word of mouth folks that have chimed in on this. I guess my question is, look, I saw some of the social media stuff too. Some of it I would say was a little bit disrespectful and inappropriate. I don't take umbrage with the idea that the college athletics landscape has changed significantly from what he both coached in and was the athletic director during. But that doesn't mean that his views don't have value. Do I think that he should come out of retirement and run the athletic department? No, I do not. I don't think that that's a good idea. But I don't think that having someone who, again, that's one of my favorite moments, doesn't call search firms call him. I think it would be helpful to have his input. I don't think he should be the ultimate decider on things. I think I think you don't have to do a whole lot of reading between the lines to appreciate how irritated and disappointed he is that the guy that played for him, the guy that he essentially groomed to replace him, his hand-picked successor, bolted after 5 years. Again, he taught the things he said about, I'm fine, good for him. I'm glad he left. This idea that it's okay that he left, that took me by surprise. Maybe I should have seen that coming based on the way he reacted to Brett Bielema's departure many years ago. But it was kind of like, fine, we'll find somebody else. Just go then. Again, Barry is Barry and Bob is Bob. But the idea, help me understand the people in your life, Tyler, who think that we should just steer clear of him being involved in the conversation.
He's no longer in touch with what the current college sports landscape is. His handpicked successor is the guy who did not succeed as a director of athletics at the University of Wisconsin. and the program didn't achieve the heights that many hoped that it would under his leadership in the first place.
Right, and the guy that he hired to be the head coach after Brett Bielema left was a mistake, and what did he do? He corrected it, right? I mean, ideally, you don't make that mistake, but Ron Wolf made mistakes. He's in Canton, right? And what was Ron Wolf's biggest strength? If I make a mistake, I don't live with it. I do something about it. Ray Rhodes, for example. So I don't know if I'm willing to hold the way Chris McIntosh's tenure went and how long it took them to find their footing in this new brave world. I don't know if I hold that against Barry Alvarez. And again, I'm not asking him to be the one who chooses the next athletic director, but the idea of him being involved in the conversation, Tausch, I just don't understand why you wouldn't want him, at least as a resource as you go through the process.
That was the only question I had. I'm completely on board with the idea that we need to do a big time search, look everywhere, and come up with some folks that have great, big, bold ideas, because this is not going to be, what does they say, the future favors the bold? I don't think there's any doubt about that. And then you start looking at, well, what else do you need to have? You need to have more folks that I think have the idea of what being in Wisconsin is all about, too. I do think that is going to be an important piece. So there's the part that I think Barry understands probably better than anybody, and to have his input into that, I don't think would hurt anyone that ends up getting that job. So how it's all going to shake out, I don't know, but I do think that Barry Alvarez, and if he is willing and wants to, he doesn't have to, shouldn't. He's done more than enough for this university, but if that's something that he wants, and you could tell, I think one of the other overarching things from yesterday was the dude just loves this place and he cares. Mm-hmm. And there's nobody that's going to besmirch this university. You try to tell him that it's not a good job or a great job, he is going to fire at you in a big way. And it is a new era. There's no doubt. There's new things, new ideas, and everything that we kind of heard him say. But it was evident to me yesterday that he ain't got time for anybody sitting there besmirching anything about what this place is and what it's about and how you can and should have great things happening, and that includes the football program.
Jesse, what did Greg and Madison say on the Carbless Talk and text line?
Personally, I like Barry involved. I think the issue is he handpicked and groomed his successor and yet talks about all the great candidates that would want the job. When he stepped down, he could have opened it up and chose such an outside candidate. I think that's the issue.
Yeah. So here's what I will say. I will say this. There was a completely, Mac obviously had a leg up because of his experience, and but this was not, I know it shook itself out that way, but I think Becky Blank at that time, R.I.P. to Becky, there was a big-time search. There was a lot of different candidates that came through. Obviously, Mac had the support of Barry and other people that were hugely influential. So that was an open search, no doubt. Were there advantages? I would argue, and who knows what? I don't know Marcus Sedbury's plan. I know it's going to be hard-pressed to do both. I believe he's going to do more AD, and they're going to try and find someone that can help with the football side of it. I don't know that for sure. That's just what I heard. His message to the university, or to all Badger fans. I think he put that out yesterday. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line on this is we have not had a full-on, wide-open race since 1989. We haven't had one. There's been Pat Richter kicked Keister for a long time, and then Barry took over. Mm-hmm. And Barry did put Mac in that position, and it was probably everybody that was in that open search knew that they were fighting an uphill battle. Now it's going to be, for the first time in a long time, a wide-open operation. But, the one thing I disagreed with Barry about yesterday was this idea that it doesn't matter who the chancellor's going to be. Well, he kind of told you that it does just by how he answered the question. And He liked having a partner that understood and knew how important sports were, and then someone that didn't care and let him do his thing. You're not gonna. Nobody is gonna come in here and want some meddlesome cat that he knows they don't know ball like you know, and try to get in there. So that's why I disagreed with him then. I disagree with him now that isn't going to be an important piece to this, and how Wisconsin approaches hiring its chancellor and its AD, I think, is a critical piece to figuring out how and what that leadership's going to look like.
And there are some people that have been in Madison at UW who have had success as athletic directors elsewhere, right? Sean Frazier, who was one of the finalists when Mac was chosen, has been at Northern Illinois for over 10 years now, I think. He was at Wisconsin for 6-7 years before that. Obviously, Jamie Pollard, with the success that Iowa State's sports programs have had. Their football program, I know that they lost their coach, but they've had a bunch of success. Their men's basketball team has been very good. I mean, there are candidates who have done the job elsewhere that have Wisconsin ties. But, again, Tausch is right. Like, not since Donna Shalala convinced Pat Richter to leave Oscar Mayer to come lead the athletic department where he had been a two-sport star, has there been this type of an opportunity for someone to come in and get the job. What does JJ and Poinette have to say on the Carbless Talking text line, Jesse?
Yeah, he texts in, I get people being on the negative side. You could call this a pattern. Hand-picked successors as coach and AD, both leaving abruptly.
Yeah, I would argue that the hand-picked successor that Barry Alvarez did to succeed him or to succeed Brett Bielema. And Brett Bielema had a ton of success as his hand-picked successor, by the way, right? Like, that was his first hand-picked successor as coach. But if he doesn't help Paul Chryst get the Pitt job, Paul Chryst would have been the coach right after Bielema. Would you agree with that assessment? He couldn't leave Pitt after 1 year. And so, and Paul Chryst, for whether or not Mac was right or wrong about his decision to fire him, Paul Chryst had a hell of a lot of success as the football coach, too. I don't know what he would have been in the NIL era. We'll never know that.
I think it'd been tough sledding.
I agree. But I'm just saying that I wouldn't, two of those people that he picked to run the football program were pretty damn good and had a lot of success. And they largely ran the same type of operation that Barry did. So I think there's something to that. Again, I understand that the athletic director thing. I do.
Jesse, would we be happy? Would we be happy being Iowa? You give Balaga all this credit. I mean, we were Iowa before Iowa, and Iowa stole all our stuff. Minnesota's tried to. Barry's formula has been tried and replicated by Northwestern, by Iowa. Nebraska hasn't quite figured it out, but we've seen some programs replicate it. Iowa has stayed the course the entire time. I don't think anybody thinks Iowa's going to win a national championship. That is why we did what we did, is because we were trying to go next level. So I ask you that.
Part of what I've come to realize over the last year of the various discussions on this show and on the Barry Alvarez show and ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, we don't want to be Iowa because when Wisconsin was clicking, it was better than Iowa. We want to be what old Wisconsin was, because before the expansion to the 12-team college football playoff, Wisconsin didn't have enough to get over the hump. If we went right back to 2016, 2017, 2019, even a little further to 2011 and 12 and 13, like, that was good enough now to reach the college football playoff. Winning 10 games, competing in a Big Ten championship, and the landscape's changed with how the divisions are set up no longer and whatnot. But
yeah, I was just going to say that's a very important caveat.
It is. But if Wisconsin went back to having the same level of success that it had before, it would be right on the fringe or better of contending for a berth in the college football playoff. And so it turns out, in an effort to try and get over the hump and be better than we've ever been before and propel to new heights, we've taken a step back right now. Worse. And if we had been exactly the same as we had been before, with now the 12-team playoff, They'd be right in the mix with Miami and Notre Dame on the bubble of the playoff last year if they were a 10-win team in the Big Ten.
In fairness, he was answering your question. You had nothing. You had no response to that.
That's a darn good answer
I don't
by me.
need to always follow up and do. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of your job on this show, I thought, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
In fairness, by the way,
baffled by a great take by Old Gel, I'm sure. That must have been what it was.
Iowa was Wisconsin before Wisconsin was Wisconsin. Barry Alvarez having taken many of the things he learned under Hayden Fry and certainly at Nebraska as well and applied them to his time at Wisconsin upon his arrival back in 1990. So as much grief as you give Bulaga.
All right, well, then Army
Iowa
was Iowa before. I mean, if we want to start doing that, we can go way back. You know,
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking. I didn't realize you were talking again now.
But
well, when someone says something ludicrous, I've got to talk. I mean, that's.
In fairness, Iowa is not good enough right now either. Iowa's not making the college football playoff.
Point, Jesse.
Iowa's 7-5, 8-4, 9-3 at best. Like, they're not as good as they need to be either. So no, I don't want to be Iowa. I want to be old Wisconsin. I want to be as good as the top teams in the Big Ten. Like, USC hasn't been good enough. There's a lot of teams around the country. Nebraska hasn't been good enough. Like, Wisconsin's not alone on an island as a team that hasn't been good enough in a power conference that has a storied history. We just need to figure out how to get back to being a 10-win program contending for a Big Ten title, and that, theoretically, is good enough to put you in the mix for a college football playoff berth, which is what we all want.
Should I talk now? You got me all dazed and confused. What I am going to say is you want the best? Pella is the best. And if you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, now is the time because Pella of Wisconsin is offering 0 interest financing all the way to 2030. That's right, 0 interest till 2030. In Wisconsin, your home does take a beating year-round. The right windows and doors will improve your comfort, boost energy efficiency, and it'll upgrade your home's look. Pella's experts help you find the perfect fit for your home and within your budget. That was 0 interest until 2030. You can upgrade now, pay over time without paying a dime in interest. Don't wait. Answer the question. Do you need new windows and doors? If it's yes, visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
Or don't answer the question and just sit silently for a while and contemplate the meaning of life.
I'm going to assume every time Tausch is quiet after I say something, that means I made a great point.
He's just stunned. I do want to play the clip before we move forward from our conversation with Barry Alvarez. I do want to replay the no flinch clip. Because that obviously we all love. Then we got into the other quotes of his over the years, and the better get your season tickets now. And search firms call me, I don't call them. But the start of that quote, I was taken aback by how he responded to that question. We'll hear that, and then we'll get into this Dexter Lawrence conversation. That's all still ahead. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
You may know someone with multiple sclerosis, but you may not know what their day-to-day reality is really like. MS affects nearly 1 million people in the U.S., impacting far more than mobility. MS can affect vision, thinking, energy, and daily life, often in ways others don't see or understand. This MS Awareness Week, take a moment to learn more, share what you learn, and be a champion for people living with MS. Learn more at nationalmssociety.org/awareness.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. When it comes to a home mortgage, we understand you want a simple, stress-free process, great service, and a loan you can feel good about. And for 90 years, that's exactly how we've been doing things at Great Midwest Bank. So if you're thinking about buying, building, renovating, or refinancing, get started at GreatMidwestBank.com to find a knowledgeable loan officer and get the peace of mind you deserve. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Let's celebrate Milwaukee. Ewald Automotive Group's 62-year anniversary sale is on. This month, we're celebrating with anniversary savings on over 1,400 cars, trucks, and SUVs. Payments as low as $250 a month. Financing as low as 0%. Plus, 2 years of included maintenance on us. The Ewald Automotive Group's 62-year anniversary sales event. This month only at every Ewald location. Go to EwaldAuto.com.
Select models with approved credit. See dealer for details. Expires month end.
If your home suffered storm damage, don't despair. We are here to help.
Tanya's right. I'm Eric with Big Fish Contracting. We act as an advocate between you and your insurance company.
We thoroughly evaluate the damage, create an accurate quote, and handle all communication.
With decades of experience in roofing, siding, and windows, we're able to make your home whole again.
Integrity, humility, and kindness are our heartbeat, providing you with exceptional service.
Renovating homes and redeeming an industry. Check us out at bigfishcontracting.com today.
Legacy? Yingling, 197 years family owned. That's elite. But legends evolve. Meet Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Just 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and it actually tastes like beer. Crisp, clean, goes the distance. No regret in a can here. Your beer should keep up with you. Flight's putting up MVP numbers in the light beer game. The other guys on the bench. Wisconsin, level up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs, on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We'll get to some of the anti-Barry sentiments in the YouTube comments momentarily. But Jesse, play that clip from yesterday that ends with the "Don't flinch" line from Barry Alvarez.
You know, first of all, I'm not disappointed that he left. That's his choice. If he doesn't want to be the athletic director, that's great. We'll move on. We'll have a number of great candidates. I think it's a tremendous job. I don't know where you're saying that the athletic department's not in good shape, but we just move forward. Using one of my old slogans, you don't flinch. It's no big deal. Let's go.
I'm not disappointed, and if he doesn't want to be the athletic director, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon? What? If he doesn't want to be the athletic director, that's great.
That caught me a little off guard, too.
About the guy that was his number two, his right-hand man for a few years there.
Indeed. That was maybe a little emotion there.
I think he processes things, and, I mentioned on Monday I was disappointed and surprised. My guess is that Barry probably felt the same way. And when he got that call from Mac after the decision, I would bet that there was a range of emotions that probably went through Barry. And as most folks do when they kind of go through processes like that, they end up getting to acceptance. And I think Barry got to acceptance probably quicker than most because he's been through this. This isn't his first rodeo. He's seen it. He's done it all. He's got, if you remember, he had lists on lists of, if this happens, we'll be ready to, bring someone else in. And I think that's just his old competitive mindset of basically saying, if this isn't what you wanted, all right, to hell with you. We'll go do our business. And that was the vibe that I got from him yesterday.
Dr. Denver Dan in the YouTube comments. I know you guys love Barry's quotes in the past, but Wisconsin citizens can boo a bad product moving forward because they're paying for it. That quote is no longer all right, first of all, the quote is still funny. But I believe we said when he said it that I don't particularly think it's a good idea to tell the people that you want to buy tickets how to behave and not to boo.
Go boo in a bar.
Oh, I can only speak for myself. I thought that was there was a huge misstep. And if you noticed, I believe Barry backtracked later, just like he, when he told Brust, who the hell cares?
Who the hell gives whether Ben Brust is
Yeah, anytime you're telling your fans to not show up and boo and to go boo in a bar, I was, I think, as critical as you possibly could have been when that quote came from that great show that Jesse Nelson, I think, has Barry Alvarez on once in a while.
Dan's other comment, I actually think, is a little more germane to our discussion. Everybody take a breath. Barry chose the AD at a time when the AD could be a NASCAR driver. The second he became the AD, he needed to be an F1 racer. The timing sucked. It's been corrected. Move on. So I think what he's saying, I don't know, where do you come down on the automotive analogy first?
How much do either of you know about those two different types of racing?
Well,
I think
I've seen Days of Thunder.
It would be more like a horse and buggy. And now you're NASCAR's no joke. Like F1 is no question quicker, and you got to be more on rails. Like everything's got to be tighter. But NASCAR's no slouch now.
The idea of NASCAR,
you got it's fast moving.
Cars. They should be equal.
It's fast moving. It's sponsored. It's all of the things that you're looking for in college football. So I'm gonna say C- on that analogy.
But the point being is that the game definitely changed. And as I keep pointing out, is that Mac's first day, and this is not an excuse, they should have done better than they did during the 5 years and of being ready and this close the gap and all this other nonsense. But the fact of the matter is, his first day on the job was the first day of the NIL era, not the second day or the third. Like, they both started at the exact same time. And some schools did a better job of handling it or had better money intake or whatever it might be, but that was a major piece of this. My question before we move on is, and you said this earlier, or Jesse did, and then we all stood in stunned silence. The idea that you, and again, I love Paul Christ. We always had fun when he would join the show. I think he's a very good human being. I think he's a very good football coach. I don't think he was interested in re-recruiting every one of his players on the team, which is what you have to do in the NIL era and do all the other things that he would have had to do. But we were sold on the idea by Mac when he fired him and then chose to go a different direction than Jim Leonhard that this was going to be a move that Luke Fickell was going to lead us to the college football playoff. We're no longer chasing Big Ten championships. We're chasing national championships. My question is, what's the old saying about shoot for the moon and you'll catch the stars or whatever it might be? Like, were we unrealistic in what we thought we were capable of as a university and as a football program? Because where we stand right now, we're nowhere near winning the Big Ten, much less winning a national title.
I mean, if you're just basing it off of the last 3 or 4 years, yeah, that was unrealistic. But I think we've seen, again, in an old college football era, it is now, if you can generate the money, it's easier to flip a program than it's ever been. But that still means you need to have all of the right people, all of the right resources. And if you can do that, we've seen it in Indiana is set that curve with their last 2 seasons. They were in a worse spot than we were 2 years ago.
True. Good point.
Now they're not. So I understand all of that. The old way of doing business isn't the new way to go. You know, building relationships and growth and coaching is still important, but that used to be at the top of the list because players couldn't leave or they were very much punished if they did. Now you're shocked if guys don't leave. So you have to understand that. You have to be flexible. You have to be willing to embrace it. And I think with Luke and Marcus and everybody else, I think by all accounts everybody's excited about what we're able to do this off season leading into this in season. And I would be shocked if our offense is anywhere hovering where it was last year, which was about as poor as it could have possibly been. So you get that flipped. I thought last year the defense was good enough. It obviously helped win us a couple of games, and it was good enough, kept us in some other games. If you could pick up other parts of that, maybe you can flip that script quickly. And with the schedule and everything else, that's what we're looking for. I think that's all fans are looking for, and it will be a very fickle crowd, let's just put it that way, especially early in the season. Need to get off to a good start, no doubt.
Let's get to our conversation about Dexter Lawrence as Adam Schefter appearing on Jen, Gabe, and Shuey, fueling that fire. I have a lukewarm take, not a hot take on that. I really sold that. Just like we love to talk about American Family Insurance.
We do. Just like a great team needs great protection, so does your family, and especially all these storms and all the stuff going on. Spent my career on the offensive line, and trust me, when you know you're protected, you can play a whole lot freer. That's what American Family Insurance is all about. With the right home and auto coverage, they help protect what you've worked hard for and the dreams you're building for the future. That way, you can focus on your family and not the what if. So insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Courts. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
At Associated Bank, we know it's not always fun thinking about saving. You know what is fun? Not thinking about it. That's why we call it automated savings. You save automatically. How much you want, how often you want, for whatever you want. And if you don't know how much to save, well, that's why we're here. We'll suggest an amount so you hit your target without ever thinking about it. See, saving can be fun, especially when it's automatic. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
The Run for the Roses is coming to St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join us Saturday, May 2nd for the Kentucky Derby Day in partnership with Woodford Reserve. Watch the race live, sip on specialty cocktails including the classic mint julep, and dress to impress. Best hat and best dress contests are on the card. Admission is free, or you can upgrade to VIP for $75 for exclusive food stations and 2 complimentary cocktails. Visit stkatearts.com to RSVP or grab your tickets at stkatearts.com.
Homer here for Window Nation. Spring has arrived and it'll be a great time to open your windows and
Wait, your windows won't open easily? They leak when it rains? They have cracked glass? They need repainting again? It's time to talk with the pros at Window Nation and put an end to your window problems. Getting top quality custom fit windows from Window Nation, easy and affordable. Right now, during the More You Buy, the More You Save sale, save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0% interest financing for 5 years. As a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers, book a consultation and ask how you could score a pair of Brewers tickets. During uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is your home. Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. With Window Nation, you'll get windows that easily slide open and close, won't leak when it's rainy or windy, and are maintenance-free. Put an end to your window problems now. Save big with Window Nations. The more you buy, the more you save. Visit windownation.com to book a consultation.
When Milwaukee families need help, the United Way is there, reducing barriers to employment, providing transportation, safe and stable homes, and more for over 192,000 people.
And this month, CUNIS is proud to stand beside them. Hi, I'm Bill Eater with CUNIS of Milwaukee.
And I am Tony Avery with the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. During the CUNIS Drives Milwaukee 1000 event, they're donating $100 to the United Way for every vehicle sold.
Our goal this month is simple: 1,000 vehicles across 3 CUNIS Milwaukee dealerships.
For a $100,000 donation to the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County.
To help us reach our goal, you'll find incredible deals on all new and pre-owned vehicles at our 3 locations in Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall.
Be a part of driving Milwaukee forward at the CUNIS Drives Milwaukee 1000 event.
Start your search today at CUNISMKE.com. That's CUNISMKE.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Director, that's great. Again, Barry Alvarez. That caught me by surprise. Also catching me by surprise is the fact that this Dexter Lawrence to the Packers narrative has rekindled. Now, Adam Schefter, who knows everything, appeared on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy earlier this week, and he said that the Packers are in the mix. Now, he also said that the likely price tag for Dexter Lawrence, who will turn 29 in November, is a second and a fifth. And you would have to pay him, which would be his third contract as well, or second and a half, because he's got time left on his existing contract. And Tausch, I feel like the Micah Parsons move, which you and I agree, perfectly fine with giving up 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark to get a player of that caliber. Now, I would point out that the Chicago Bears once did the same thing to acquire Khalil Mack, and it didn't lead them to a Super Bowl. So it doesn't guarantee you anything, obviously, when you make a bold stroke like that. But I would argue that if you're going to make that trade, and the expectations are what the expectations are as a result of it, I don't know how much more you have to do more bold moves to acquire other players in a similar fashion that require draft capital and then a new contract for that player. And I feel like the Micah Parsons trade has maybe given us a little bit of amnesia about the Goody. We're going to be in every conversation, which is true. He did say that. But then how often did being in every conversation lead to an actual acquisition of a player, right? Like, we kind of reached the point where fans were saying, if I recall correctly on this show, I don't really care if we're in on every conversation if we're never actually acquiring those players that we're in the conversations on. Now, I think that opinion also falls short because there's been some pretty damn good free agent signings that they were in conversations with. But in terms of trades, right, you were in the conversation, you didn't acquire the player until Micah Parsons. Do you think now that they've traded for Micah Parsons and had, despite his knee injury, positive results because of it, that now Goody's going to start doing it more? He's going to do this for Dexter Lawrence too? Or are we being unrealistic?
We're being unrealistic.
Yeah.
I don't envision Brian Gutekunst giving up more draft capital. Now, what I envision more of is taking flyers at guys mid-season where you know it's a rental. Because right now, I don't know how – when you're playing Monopoly, if you can get Park Place, you take it. And then obviously you want – what's the other one that goes with Park Place? Somebody off Boardwalk.
Boardwalk.
So you're going to want both. Well, the Packers got their Boardwalk and their Park Place in Jordan Love and Micah Parsons. Now you start looking at it, and you're like, all right, well, I have to start seeing some results with that. I doubt I'm going to go do a Marvin Gardens or any of those other yellow ones that are super expensive, or I think it's the green ones coming around the corner. You have to start looking at more, I'm going to rent. I'm going to maybe go grab a utility station. I might go grab those little baby purple ones up in front that are nice, that are going to pay a nice dividend, and are going to do it, and then maybe we can sell it later. That's more along the lines, because I've said this a bunch, if it's a transformative player, you'll do what you got to do. But I don't think the Packers, with how they approach things, and especially with some of the bills coming due and where they're at, you can't consistently do this. And let's not forget, you just said Dexter Lawrence's age. He did not have a good year last year.
No.
He is not going to just say, oh, great, I'm going to go to Green Bay. I'm going to play my keister off this year, and then we'll see how the chips fall. You're going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't make the trade. You want disgruntlement, go trade for somebody that's lived in New York, that wants a big contract, and then bring him to Green Bay without a new contract. Me no think they're going to like that. Just like I think Micah Parsons, I don't think he's coming to Green Bay last year unless he got a new deal.
Right.
Those are just
Obviously.
the realities of these situations. So it's great that we're having these conversations. I like that Green Bay is in the mix. But I would think anything at this point now is going to be more, they're going to cut a guy. It's a veteran that maybe is on his last legs, and you're going to try to steal a year. This is not that. He is going to be a centerpiece of our defense. And by doing something like this, if that is indeed what Goody does, how does Devontae Wyatt react to that? Is Devontae Wyatt going to be excited?
Totally agree.
Is he going to think, oh, boy, that's great. They just paid him a ton of money, and now they're going to pay me a ton of money. Well, one of the things you noticed what the Green Bay Packers do, they allocate, and Mark Murphy said this when I was excited about the Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. I think he was on that tailgate tour a couple weeks later, and he said, well, we're not going to put all that money into one position. You kind of get an idea where Green Bay's at. So if Dexter Lawrence was 25, I think this conversation's a whole lot more interesting. At 29, I just see this as a non-starter.
Right, and that's why Micah Parsons was so appealing. That's why he is an exception to all these other, I recognize that guy's name, they should get him trade ideas. Micah Parsons was 26 at the time of the trade. Goody has said on the record at the NFL Scouting Combine this past February, we want guys that are between age 26 and 29. That's when we think that's his version, Tausch, of your elevator years. It's when you play your best,
elevator years.
When you're healthy. Yeah, and he's taking your elevator years and just putting actual numbers on them, right? And Dexter Lawrence barely fits into that window. And if you're paying him more money than what is on his existing contract, then he's going to be getting money from you after he's out of that window, which is also going to be the case for Aaron Banks with his $43 million he's gotten in the last 12 months, and a couple of others as well. So, again, Zaire Franklin, if he's a one-year guy, potentially. Anthony Hargrave, if he's a one-year guy, potentially. That's one thing. Again, we can never say never anymore because they traded for Micah Blanken Parsons. This seems, given where they're at with their draft capital, where they're at in terms of holes that they need to fill on their depth chart behind their frontline starters, and based on the cost of both trading picks and paying a player, I'm skeptical of this. Just like I was skeptical of the fact that they would actually get Kirk Cousins to be their backup quarterback. They weren't going to spend $10 million on a backup quarterback. I just never thought that was going to happen either.
If it was Malik Willis, I think they'd have paid him $10 million to be
sure,
backup.
I would agree with that. Yeah, if he had somehow gotten to the market, nobody wanted him.
Yeah, and lastly, to kind of bow this up, you have to understand where the player is coming from. Everybody is going to be at different points. If he's 32, 33, and he's on the back end and he wants to chase the championship and he's excited about it, all of a sudden, I'm probably more intrigued. That's going to be less likely for Goody, but the price tag goes down. All of this is a balance of figuring out the price point along with the compensation. And when you have to do all of it like you did with Micah, this would be a less expensive contract, but it's still going to be expensive, and it's going to be giving assets up when you've already dumped a bunch of assets and you know you're going to need to replenish because you already just went through an offseason where you let good players walk out the door because you need to replace them with younger, cheaper players because you have elevator guys you're paying elevator money to. That's a lot of copper now. I know my elevator guy will talk, and copper ain't cheap. You're going to be paying for elevators now. That's one of them. When you put up all these multifamily and all this stuff, elevators are a big item on that expense. And when you do it, you better make sure you're getting it right.
We need to give away some Iron Jock gear before we continue this conversation.
We do. I'm going to be nice to Jesse today because he gave that great answer that flummoxed both of us in the beginning of the show. And as a former athlete, I've worn just about every workout gear there is. Nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you work. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you comfortable and confident. Right now, your chance to win an Iron Jock hat. Caller number 88 to win an Iron Jock hat.
Caller 88 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 88 wins from Iron Jock. More Wilde and Tausch. Straight ahead, stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Doc Rivers is out as the Bucks head coach.
Is it good for Giannis? Is it bad for Giannis?
You can't help but wonder if everything the Bucks are going to do between now and, pick a day, is going to be to put themselves in a good position. When it comes to Giannis, could they go out there and get someone who Giannis respects, admires, wants to play for?
Will Giannis stay with the Bucks? Who's going to be the next head coach? Get everything you need to know right here. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Scheduled today at PellaWI.com.
Restrictions apply.
Some things just feel like summer. Grilling out, sparklers after dark, and classic flavors that bring back core memories. That's the inspiration behind the new Carbless Americana Backyard Bliss Variety Pack, made to celebrate America's 250th birthday. With 4 brand new flavors, including strawberry, cherry, grape, and apple, it's packed with nostalgic flavor and backyard tradition in every can. Celebrate summer and let flavor ring with the new Americana Backyard Bliss 8-pack from Carbless. Pick up the brand new variety pack at your local retailer or go to drinkcarbless.com to find it near you.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
They've been star hunting for a while now. It didn't work out with Damian Lillard a couple of years ago. He ended up getting shipped to the Milwaukee Bucks. I think this is a situation now where you're hoping that you can make a run at being able to get a player like Giannis to build around. Pat Riley has shown once he gets that superstar in the building, he knows how to field a competitive team around him. So I would feel differently about the prospects of the Miami Heat moving forward if they were able to land Giannis this summer. But there is no question about it. The Miami Heat are never going to be in a situation where they can be a top of the lottery type of squad. They're always going to try to be competitive. Based on how today's NBA goes and the elimination of true free agency, then you're going to have to star chase and you're going to have to be able to land a trade and get a superstar talent that can be the best option on a championship winning team. And Giannis has proven that he can do that, albeit a long time ago.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
When you're getting married, the rings matter. There's something you wear for a lifetime. That's why my fiance and I went to Paul's Jewelers. Paul's Jewelers specializes in custom jewelry for life's biggest moments. Lab-grown or natural diamonds, great pricing, and a lifetime warranty, so your jewelry can be refurbished, repaired, or refitted anytime down the road. Their team made the entire process easy and stress-free. I can't wait to show off my wedding band after our big day. Create your masterpiece today by visiting Paul's Jewelers in West Allis.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Let's take a call, even though it's a Thursday. We don't
Jesse,
normally do that.
Who won the hat? And did you like the number?
Number was good. Jason in Lone Rock was our winner today.
Where's Lone Rock, Jason?
It's a dead name. I know that. Might as well be Ruth. I have no idea where Lone Rock is.
I don't either. Jesse?
He said the bad storm. I thought I heard it on the news the other night. He said the storms were a little north of him. So let me quick search of Lone Rock. And Lone Rock is near Dodgeville, out west.
Okay.
Little north of Dodgeville.
Right.
Don't be fooled by the Lone Rock I got. I'm still Jason from the block. Let's take a call. Jackrabbit Mama felt compelled to call the show. So either she went back to South Dakota and visited your archaeological dig and wanted to report on that. She has some thoughts on Tucker Kraft, or neither, and she's calling for some other reason. So let's find out. Jackrabbit Mama, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm great.
You called us unprompted. What's on your mind?
Well, I was listening to the conversation about what Goody would or wouldn't do based on his personal history. And a thought popped into my head is, do they ever make moves like that, which, because they would be beneficial, you could consider a defensive move? And should you find out that any of our division rivals are also in the market for Dexter Lawrence. Would he go outside of his comfort zone and maybe make a move in order to prevent one of those other three teams from getting him?
Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Josh DiMaggio apparently has a man crush on Dexter Lawrence. He thinks that this is worth the draft capital and paying him.
Dexter Lawrence, London game, like he had his peak was awesome.
Dude, that was 2022. When was that again?
I understand.
League comes at you fast.
I understand. I can understand where Joshy is coming from because he is a great pass rush. You'd love to have, especially with Micah. You want to have somebody on the inside that wreaks a bunch of havoc.
Mm-hmm.
The cost on both sides of both compensation and draft picks is too much for me. If he can be the old DeMarcus Lawrence and be dominant for 3 or 4 years, I'm all in. That's great. I am not going to make that wager. I'll be shocked if Brian Gutekunst makes that wager. And the last thing you should do is trade for an unhappy player with his contract and not do anything with his contract.
Hassan
Reddick.
Reddick.
A lot of things now. Now, one of the things that does happen is old boy could get humbled here. Hey, yeah, go ahead and try to find a trade. All right, how many teams are going to give up what the Giants will take and then also pay him? And when that number is not very much, all of a sudden people are like, And all of a sudden his representation is like, maybe we get some sprinklers put in, play this year out, show that you're the guy again, and then hopefully we can go to market where people don't have to give up a bunch of draft picks, and maybe we can get more money on the market that way because every organization is looking at this the same way. 29-year-old, not coming off of a not great year, have to give up probably at least a second, maybe others, is I'm sure what New York is looking for.
Uh-huh.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that want that juice from those oranges. That's just going to be too much.
Jesse, where do you fall on this? Are you Team Joshy or are you with Tausch and me?
I'm with you guys. I'm not Team Josh on much, but this is one of
set you up there for a
not on Team Josh. Yeah.
Can we answer Jackrabbit Mom? I was going to ask.
Yeah, we need to answer her question
before Josh hijacked this statement without. Here's what I would say to Jackrabbit Mama. If other teams are interested and you think you can jab a little bit and throw a little something at them, but you got to hold your end of the bargain and make sure that you don't get caught. You could bluff in a card game. A lot of these auctions, like with Jeffrey from Celebrations, they'll have people out there and they'll raise their hand because they know Jason Wilde wants to get that swimming pool. And Wilde's bidding on that swimming pool, and it's going for too little. Somebody can jump up and say, I know Wilde's going to go another couple $100. Let's do this. Next thing you know, you're sitting there in an outdoor swimming pool with a leak, and you got to take that on, and you got to put it up, you got to construct it, and you already have a great pool. You don't want that. So you want to make your opponents pay more so they have less. So that part of it, I can understand where JRM is coming from, but I'm more interested in what I'm looking for. And if the Bears want to give up a couple picks and pay a bunch of money to a 29-year-old that may or may not be, I don't know, maybe he'll have a bounce back year. Great, if he does. I'm not worried about the Minnesota Vikings or the Chicago Bears on picking him up and doing it. That can't be my top focus. It's got to be, is this fit for us? And I don't think with what it's going to cost, it will.
That's a dangerous game to play, right? To get a guy to keep him away from someone else getting him. Like, I always think back to the Chase Claypool thing, right? The Packers were in on that. They offered a second-round pick for him. The Steelers traded him instead to the Bears for their second-round pick because they thought the Bears' pick would be higher. And that was a mistake by the Bears. He was not a quality addition. I don't even know where he is now. He's in that world of searching for work all the time. And he was unhappy in Pittsburgh. So Again, we'll see. I would also be curious if they get a trade done before the draft, and if they don't, then if the price tag for acquiring him in terms of capital goes down, and you're trading from a position of, well, we have a lot more picks next year than we have this year based on...
And you maybe look at that in October or September.
Right.
If maybe Devontae Wyatt isn't bouncing back and you know you're not going to bring him back, because Old Boy will be a lot more open to coming to a contender, and maybe the Giants will be a contender. Who knows, right? That division and everything else, things change quickly. But you're more open if you don't have something to be on a playoff team because you get that playoff money. You can win a championship. Like, that is much more of a sweetener in September, October, especially if your current team stinks. That can be kind of and then your compensation from a Packer standpoint, maybe it'll be a third or fourth. And if you think that can be your Howard Green,
right,
your Odell Beckham Jr., that play, all of a sudden all parties are a lot more optimistic than doing it right before the NFL draft.
Well, speaking of sweeteners, there are so many sweeteners, I can't even get them all into one read when it comes to Associated Bank's Brewers Checking. Go to associatedbank.com/Brewers to see all the great perks that come with Brewers Checking. Let me just give you a few of them. 20% off at the Brewers team store when you show your Brewers card. Up to 50% off home game tickets exclusively for Brewers checking account customers. Express entry through the Associated Bank entrance at American Family Field. Pre-sale access to designated concerts and non-baseball events at AmFam Field as well. And then discounts and savings on the 5K and 10K Famous Racing Sausages Run and Walk, the Brewers Baseball Academy, all kinds of great things that you get with your Brewers Checking. And, of course, you get your one-of-a-kind Brewers Debit MasterCard that you can use at ATMs and millions of merchants worldwide. Go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. We'll have more in the 10 o'clock hour, and that will start in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait. This offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Let's celebrate Milwaukee. Ewald Automotive Group's 62-year anniversary sale is on. This month, we're celebrating with anniversary savings on over 1,400 cars, trucks, and SUVs. Payments as low as $250 a month. Financing as low as 0%. Plus 2 years of included maintenance on us. The Ewald Automotive Group's 62-year anniversary sales event. This month only at every Ewald location. Go to EwaldAuto.com. Select models with approved credit. See dealer for details. Expires month end.
Wisconsin, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. Beer. Specifically, great beer. And if you haven't met Yuengling yet, allow me to introduce you. Yuengling is the oldest brewery in America, founded in Pottsville, PA in 1829. 197 years, 6 generations of family-owned brewing. Do you know how they became America's oldest brewery? By making great beer. This is a real American beer. Smooth, rich, and finally here in Wisconsin. So grab a Yuengling, raise a glass, and celebrate history the way it was meant to be celebrated. By drinking it. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
We have standards in Wisconsin. Cheese should squeak. Sports and tailgating go hand in hand with brats aplenty. And beef is a delicacy where each bite makes you close your eyes for a second. For 50 years, Bunzel's has been hand-selecting the finest beef, making homemade specialty sausages, and crafting award-winning jerky right here at home. Because Wisconsin is still cattle country, quality isn't optional. It's expected. And after 5 decades, Bunzel's still delivers. Stop in today at 90th and Burleigh or at bunzels.com.
We are the home of green and gold off-season coverage. 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Jesse, I know you've been an avid reader of our position-by-position previews for the NFL Draft on channel3000.com.
I actually have been. I can only assume Tausch has as well.
Yeah, I've been in. I didn't get. It hasn't been getting to my inbox for whatever reason. I don't know what's been going on.
Got to sign up for the newsletter.
That was like a kid forgetting a homework assignment in high school, and he's trying to come up with any.
No, you were funny. You were funny. No, it was.
I was trying to be funny.
I knew what you were doing. So what I have found as I have gone through this process, and by the way, for those of you that are huge fans of Steve the Homer True, who has gone back to wearing his toupee, at least occasionally on his program.
Nice. Just trying to keep it fresh.
Yeah. Throw people off a little bit. He's thinking about doing it in conjunction with whether the roof is open or closed at AmFam Field.
Oh, I like that.
So
is it when it's open, he goes with the rug, and when it's not, he doesn't?
I don't know. I think closed would be the rug, right? Because it's covering up the baldness, covering up the stadium from being rained upon, right? Or no?
I don't know.
We'll have to ask him.
I don't know.
He's scheduled to appear.
Yeah, close the dome or you open the dome.
At 10:30. But so I want to be ready for him, and I do want to discuss that further. I think there's some photographic evidence of how it looks as well, so we'll have to discuss that. But beyond that, one thing that is, and I was talking about this with him yesterday, is that as I've gone through the preview series, and we today is the offensive line. We've done quarterbacks, we've done running backs, we've done wide receivers, we've done tight ends, and now we've done the offensive line. And one theme has emerged. They need guys at every one of those positions. Now, they've got their franchise quarterback. They've got their starting running back. They've got their stud tight end. They've got their very much clear-cut top three wide receivers now, having traded Wicks and having let Dobbs walk, right? The wide receivers are Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Matthew Golden. And Matthew Golden is going to have opportunities on top of opportunities. You say, Chili used to say he has a chance to have a chance. He's got lots of chances now. They are clearly eager for him to have a much greater role than when Steno at the end of the season is saying, yeah, I don't see him playing much. Which was, frankly, still an honest answer. And if let's not forget that Wicks did not play in the playoff game because of a concussion. I don't know how many opportunities Matthew Golden gets to have his best game of the season in that playoff game if Wicks is not in the concussion protocol. But Tausch, and this goes back to the Dexter Lawrence conversation, I don't think they need those draft picks in this draft to necessarily get immediate starters, but I do think there's a lot of depth to be replenished, and I haven't even gotten to the defensive side of the ball yet, where there are questions about the defensive line and the edge and the corner position. So on balance, there's a theme developing, and it's this team needs a depth charge. Am I wrong to view it that way?
No, I mean, one of the things that we probably don't look at and we never examine, and I think we should probably do a draft tomorrow, is which players need to make a big jump. Because that is the lost part of a roster that fans, especially guys that didn't play or played minimal amount of snaps, when you're a draft and replace team, which is what the Green Bay Packers are right now, there are guys that you don't hear about. You guys, as media folks, don't get to watch a lot of practice in season, so you probably don't know a lot. They don't play a ton. But they're a year older. They're a year stronger. They now understand the business and how the NFL game is. And it doesn't matter what coach you talk to, if it's college, if it's whatever. They're going to always tell you you get that biggest jump. And a lot of times it's from starting and playing. But usually, especially when you start looking at what you're asking of a rookie, now with less training camp, less time to have OTAs, less development time, and then in season, less padded practices. you don't get the opportunity to probably showcase yourself. So nobody really knows, but you know the talent that brought you in. Now you know the system. You know, that rookie year for almost every player, you're just swimming, you're treading water, trying to just make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the season ends, you take that big, and then you go on a little vacation, you get back, and you're like, all right, now I know. This is what I'm going to do. And all of a sudden, the confidence goes up. So, yes, to answer your question, do you need depth? Yeah, you better hit some base hits and doubles with this draft. Be great to hit a home run. But go ahead.
Sorry. You would like to hit a home run. I want to talk a little bit about the offensive line depth next before we get to Homer. But Gabe said something interesting to me yesterday or today on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and that is he believes wholeheartedly they will draft a wide receiver. Not just because Wicks and Dobbs are gone, but because Watson and Reed are both in the final years of their existing contracts. Are you in Gabe's club?
No.
Okay, so now that I have a tie, 1-1 in people's opinions that I value. Why are you not in his club?
I think what I just said about having guys develop and take that next step, Savion Williams is going to be on my draft board tomorrow. I don't want to give too much away because I've swamped you guys in both of our drafts so far.
In your own opinion.
Up to this point. He is somebody I think that you view – now, that's not to say if there's somebody that just keeps sliding for whatever reason and it's a 6th or 7th round pick, they maybe will take a flyer. But if you're asking me in those first – I know we don't have one the first night – really the early part of Saturday and all of Friday, if that's going to be something on the Packers' minds – I would make the argument wide receivers probably the last spot that I think they're going to draft somebody that is going to be an immediate need for this football team in 2026.
There's join
always
that
exceptions.
I'll join that club, except for safety. I would argue safety is the last spot, and that's the second to last spot. Do you agree or disagree?
You don't know what you're going to do with Xavier McKinney. You don't know what you're going to do with Evan Williams. So I would disagree. I'd push back on your pushback on that.
All right.
I would say safety is a spot you feel really good about, both from a starting standpoint and depth. Wide receiver, they're going to bank. Savion Williams wasn't some throwaway pick.
No.
Oh, man, like he wasn't a 7th round pick where you're hoping you can get anywhere close to like a Donald Driver production. That's not what that was. They put Savion Williams in a bunch trying to get him to be jet sweep guy, gadget guy. They like him.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to earn reps. So we all, rightfully so, said the Matthew Golden is going to benefit a lot from the trade of Wicks. I'd argue Savion Williams is going to benefit a lot from the trade.
You're right.
Tavion Wicks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Thanks, Jason.
Well, now I can't agree with you either. I'll just stand silent. I'll just stand mute.
No, you just said I said thank you. I'm trying to be graceful. Like, that was nice of you to say. Thank you.
Well,
Jay.
you are graceful. You got great feet, and you also, turns out, kind of suck when it comes to financial literacy, based on the results.
Oh,
of your
snap!
Webinar. Fair?
Oh, we had a great time with Tom and Bonnie and the great team at Annex. Greg, the whole squad down there. We had great setup. Nice little opportunity for people to learn about financial literacy, to learn all of the, to learn about what states have good FICO scores and how much you're spending on rent and how the expense part of it. All of that goes into how you're going to build your plan, how you're going to build around your taxes, around everything that you're doing, so you get a holistic view of your finances, and you can't do it yourself. You got to go talk to the experts at Annex. I have been. I know our retirement plan, that's what Tom specializes in. They have experts, Dr. Jacobson. They have experts in all fields. We're going to continue to do these webinars. We're going to keep giving out great prizes. The team at Annex Wealth wants to share their knowledge with you. So go ahead, talk to them, listen to them about your goals of what you want done with your finances, and the great team at Annex Wealth Management will be there for you.
Okay, I'm going to bring back one of my favorite things we've ever done, and that is
numbers game.
No, I did enjoy the music, and I'm glad we found a home for it.
The former Aaron Rodgers teammate series?
No, but that was great.
Oh, farts.
Great too.
That was fun.
No, the Steinhafels employee or blank, and in this case, it will be backup Packers offensive lineman. Okay.
Oh, fun.
Since I know you didn't read Channel 3000, I feel good about the fact that the only one you're going to get right is Darian Kennard when I bring him up. He does not work at Steinhafels. Spoiler alert, he plays tight end for the Packers. We'll do that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
You may know someone with multiple sclerosis, but you may not know what their day-to-day reality is really like. MS affects nearly 1 million people in the U.S., impacting far more than mobility. MS can affect vision, thinking, energy, and daily life, often in ways others don't see or understand. This MS Awareness Week, take a moment to learn more, share what you learn, and be a champion for people living with MS. Learn more at nationalmssociety.org/awareness.
Remember how you felt when you were 25? Your morning workouts were a breeze. You had a drive that kicked in way before your first cup of coffee. Does it feel like you're losing your edge? You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back to being the guy you used to be. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Vortex Golf makes rangefinders for serious golfers who need an accurate number every time. With 3 options, the Blade, Blade Slope, and Anarch, there's a Vortex rangefinder that fits your game. Crystal clear optics and features like image stabilization keep you steady in big moments. Plus, every Vortex Golf product is backed by a no questions asked lifetime warranty. If you're looking for an accurate number every time, Vortex Golf belongs on your bag. Grab yours and everything you need for golf season in Wisconsin at shields.com.
Hey, better, swing into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee for the $300,000 Big League Series. Just play with your rewards card over 3 months to earn entries. Here's the lineup. Leading off April, on deck May, in the hole June. All monthly entries you earn will roll into drawings on Friday, June 26th, where you could win cash, free play, or one of 3 new Toyota vehicles. It's the $300,000 Big League Series, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we believe in doing things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can find the same trusted products you want and need at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Right now, during our battery-powered tool sale, save $400 on a new Ego battery-powered lawn tractor. 16 packs of Duracell AA or AAA batteries, $12.99. Plus, rewards members get a free $10 Blaine's gift card when you spend $100 on Scott's Lawn Care products. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Michelob Ultra is brewed here. So is the grit that takes U.S. soccer players to the world's biggest stage. The excitement that fills a stadium before a single ball is kicked. The feeling when we rally together behind one team. From the pitch to the pour, Superior is brewed here. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the U.S. men's national soccer team. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Demonstrates the unproven nature of the Packers' current crop of backup offensive linemen. And again, we can agree that their theoretical starting lineup for 2026, if the season opened today, assuming Zach Tom's knee is okay, which again, players report on Monday for the start of the offseason program. I don't know when we will talk to Zach Tom. I don't know when we will talk to Jonathan Gannon. I was told that we may talk to coaches once players arrive, so that's on Monday. Goody talks on Tuesday in advance of the draft. But the Packers starting
what is going on? Goody, I'll tell you what. Is Goody trying to get his quota of how many times he talks so he doesn't have to talk during the season? He's talking all over the place this offseason.
No, he's doing exactly what he always does. He talked that he
This
delayed.
is at least his fourth appearance since the season, which is a lot for Brian Goody.
So he always does one after the season. It was just later than usual. He always talks at the scouting combine, which he did again. He always talks at the NFL meetings, which he did, and he always talks the week of the draft, which he will do on Tuesday. So I don't think we get to give him credit for talking more than he normally does.
And he usually gets an invite to join Wilde and Tausch at least once a year.
Which he always turns down. So the starting offensive line across the front. Jordan Morgan at left tackle, Aaron Banks at left guard, Sean Ryan at center, Anthony Belton at right guard, and Zach Tom at right tackle. Right? Agreed?
So as we sit here right now, what do you feel best about on April 16th?
Nothing.
I'm going to say Aaron Banks.
I would have said Zach Tom, but again, a patellar tendon is no joke.
What are you shaking your head? Aaron Banks? Zach Tom's got a knee. He's probably had surgery.
Right.
I'm saying if that's
Zach
what we
he ain't going to be able to play if he started
if we
now.
feel
Jesse,
best
say what you're going to say.
If
This is
we
exactly
feel
what I was going to say.
best about Aaron Banks, that's like not a good spot to be in.
Well, we're all. I mean, most of us are concerned about this O-line right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not saying anything nobody else has said. I'm saying as we sit here on April 16th, Aaron Banks finished the year, I believe, healthy, right? Or did he have something come up at the end?
Healthy-ish. Yeah.
Jordan Morgan is an unknown. Belton's got a lot of room to grow.
Uh-huh.
Sean Ryan got banged up, couldn't finish the playoff game. And he hasn't really played center all that often.
10 starts.
Zach Tom would be, if Zach Tom was healthy, that's an easy answer. He's not.
Sure.
He wasn't.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So Aaron Banks has to be the answer. By the way, if he ain't the answer, the hell are we doing? We're just paying him $46 million over 12 months.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of money, that's for sure. All right, so in honor of the lesser-known backup options for the Green Bay Packers on their offensive line, we bring back one of my favorite exercises, Steinhaffel's employee or Packers backup offensive lineman. Love the music. All right, let's get the easy one. Let's get the easy one out of the way. You know this one. You question his ball security, but you love his ability to catch a pass in critical situations and also sell you a new couch. Darian Kennard.
Yeah. Packer O-lineman.
Indeed. All right, here we go. That was just a warm-up. Next up in the Packer or Steinhaffel's employee, Dalton Cooper. Dalton Cooper.
Steinhaffel's.
Dalton Cooper was on the practice squad last year. He played at Oklahoma State.
No, good. What position?
He's a tackle. 6'6", 326.
Oh, nice.
Dalton
All right.
Cooper. All right. Next, Brant Banks. Brant Banks.
I'm going to say Packer.
He is a Packer. Played at Rice and I think Nebraska before that. He was also on the practice squad for a good chunk of last season. He is a Packer. Another Steinhafels employee or Packers backup offensive lineman, Carson Barnhart. Carson Barnhart.
That sounds like a Steinhofer to me.
It does, doesn't it? But it's not. Carson Barnhart played at Michigan. Played at Michigan. He is a guard. Next, John Tiedemann. John Tiedemann.
Packer.
John Tiedemann is the store manager at the Appleton Steinhafels.
Nice.
Okay, a couple more. Drew Schrader. Drew Schrader.
That's a Packer.
That's a tough one.
He is the general manager at the Steinhafels in the greater Chicago area.
Okay.
This is great. This is totally proving my point. Thank you for your service.
We haven't met Drew yet. We haven't been to one in Chicago for a remote.
Okay, a couple more before we get ready for Homer. Tim LaFond. Tim LaFond.
Packer.
Tim LaFond, sales manager at the Madison Steinhafels Furniture. Last two for you here. John Williams. John Williams.
That's a Packer.
Composer.
That's definitely a Packer.
That is definitely a Packer. Played at Cincinnati. Spent all of last year on the PUP and the IR list.
He's
But
a
he did start
rocket
the practice
scientist
list.
or something.
He is.
Right?
Yeah, really smart guy.
We should have had him to talk about Artemis last week when they were flying and launching and circling the moon.
Would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
That would have been a great idea. Right after we have Jonathan Gannon and Goody on the show. All right, last one. Chad Wyman. Chad Wyman.
Tough one.
Steinhoffler.
Chad Wyman is the district manager at Steinhafels Furniture in the greater Madison area. So all kidding aside, and obviously we love our partnership with Steinhafels, but when you look at that, there were some names there that, like Carson Barnhart, I didn't even know he was on the team. And I like to think I do my job the right way. I was unfamiliar with his game.
What do you mean do your job the right way?
I know I do my job the right way. I know who's on the team usually.
Interesting. Boy, interesting. A couple shots taken there. Yeah, but in fairness, you didn't mention the Jennings. Like, there's guys that are.
Well, wait a minute,
well-known
Donovan Jennings. I didn't put him on the list because I know you know who he is. But let's be honest, I don't know if Donovan Jennings has played an offensive snap yet. Because he suffered a throat injury in practice before the JV game.
Yeah. But I'm saying what you're doing is you're trying to highlight with guys that are more than likely not going to be on the team or were injured or haven't done it to show how limited the depth is. And I think you're being a little misleading because the guys that are going to be the depth or that were the depth, you didn't put on the list.
Okay,
so
well, I did. I put
do
Darian
I think
Kennard.
that I feel great? I don't feel great about the starting five. So, of course, I'm not going to feel great about the depth. But
the backups
I don't think
who
we needed
didn't,
to Steinhoffel it. Go ahead.
The backups who didn't make the list, you know their names, but you don't know their games either. You knew John Williams, which, again, didn't play at all. Redshirted, medical redshirt basically last year. Travis Glover. What do you remember about Travis Glover? Going in Philly and getting benched because he got cooked so bad.
What was that movie? What's the movie that Danny Glover is in?
Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon.
Angels
Travis
in
Glover
the outfield?
Also missed all of last season. Angels in the outfield. Christopher Lloyd is in that too, I believe.
It could happen.
Doc Brown. Travis Glover missed all of last season with a shoulder injury he suffered in camp. And Jacob Monk, you know how many snaps Jacob Monk has played in the NFL on offense in his career in 2 years?
Not many.
57. And I believe 51 of them were in that JV game that was so thoroughly covered on channel3000.com. So, again, they did not make the list because you would know who they are for the game's purposes. But, again, let's be honest, they are inexperienced and little known as well. And your point about being uncomfortable with the starters tells you where you are with the backups. If you have 8 picks and you have other needs, the Packers will pick blank number of offensive linemen
2
during the 3-day draft. I would agree with you. 2 is my guess as well. All right. In honor of our Steinhafels employee or Packers backup offensive lineman, feels like a good time to tell you about Steinhafels. And April is Sleep Awareness Month. And let's be honest, who doesn't need better sleep? I know I do. Right now at Steinhafels, you can grab $300 in Steinhafels cash when you buy a Tempur-Pedic mattress. It adapts to your body so you can actually wake up feeling refreshed for a change. No more tossing and turning. And if snoring has been keeping you or your partner, which I know mine certainly is aware of my snoring, up at night, well, add a smart base and that'll tackle the problem automatically. Better nights, better mornings, better days. It's just that simple. Relax. It's Steinhafels. Uncle Homer joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Make your next meal Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Right now, get a crispy chicken sandwich, regular or pepper jacked, for just $3.99. Feeding the crew? Grab an 8-piece bone-in fried chicken for only $9.99. And don't forget to dip it in Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken sauce. Short on time? Order ahead with the Quick Rewards app and make it fast. Stop in today for your No Ordinary Chicken. Crunch outside, tender inside. Only at Quick Trip.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done. Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Turn your dream kitchen into a reality with the IKEA Dream Kitchen event. Now through April 21st, IKEA family members save 10% when they spend $3,000 or more on section kitchen cabinets and eligible appliances and countertops. That's modern style, smart storage, and everyday functionality designed your way. Plus, section cabinets come with a 25-year limited warranty. Not sure where to start? IKEA's expert kitchen planners are here to guide you every step of the way. Your dream kitchen is closer than you think. So visit IKEA Oak Creek or IKEA.us today.
When you're getting married, the rings matter. There's something you wear for a lifetime. That's why my fiance and I went to Paul's Jewelers. Paul's Jewelers specializes in custom jewelry for life's biggest moments. Lab-grown or natural diamonds, great pricing, and a lifetime warranty, so your jewelry can be refurbished, repaired, or refitted anytime down the road. Their team made the entire process easy and stress-free. I can't wait to show off my wedding band after our big day. Create your masterpiece today by visiting Paul's Jewelers in West Allis.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods has a great reputation for producing custom team apparel. We're total team outfitters and we can handle the biggest jobs. Our success in custom team apparel led us into group and corporate apparel. Plus, we have a full selection of promotional products for employee gifts, special events, you name it. And we've made it easy for our customers to firm up their orders. The group sale web stores that we build for our customers are a simple way of gathering all the information you need. They're easy to work, easy to understand, and with them you'll have access to nearly limitless options. We've seen that most times we're better priced than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer. Plus Nike and Under Armour choices that the other guys can't get. And we offer a huge brand selection from Yeti, North Face, and Carhartt too. This is Brian Burkhart. For team, group, or corporate custom outfitting and promotional products, it's going to be really hard to beat our prices, selection, and ease of buying for any size budget and every size company. And that's why we always say,
You can't beat Burkhart. Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free consultation. 262-235-3980. 262-235-3980 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary. If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. You're making love, I'm starting the school.
You know what that music means? Man, I wish I could say that more often, but we've got such great royalty-free music, and we've got such a great partner in conjunction with our guests. It is, of course, the Yuengling Guest Hotline, or in Homer's case, the Yuengling Goat Hotline. Six generations family owned and operated. The oldest brewery in America has now come to Wisconsin. DG Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. It is Steve the Homer True on Wilde and Tausch. Homer, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Can't wait to talk about Barry Alvarez, one of my favorite topics ever.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you about the toupee, but we can start there, sure.
Yeah, there's only one question to ask Barry Alvarez. There's only one. If Chris McIntosh is the problem, this is all on you. Yes or no? What will he? There's nothing else to ask.
Not much of a question, more of a statement.
Sure, it's a question. If Chris McIntosh is the problem, this is all, stress on all, on you. What does he say?
Because he didn't. Because he picked him.
Yes.
Hey, isn't some of it on Chris McIntosh for making mistakes?
Yes, but the guy who hires
so it's
him,
not
like
all
the
on Barry
bosses,
then.
Yeah, all, because he wouldn't be here. Then he can say, if he wants to respond less than all, he picked him. He thought he could do the job. If he hires a bad coach, who's that on as athletic director? Athletic director. You don't say, well, it's 20% on the coach. No, you picked him. That's your job. If he stinks, that's all on you. Because if he's great, you'll get all the credit, just like Pat Richter got all the credit, though in reality, the truth is Barry Alvarez made Wisconsin. It doesn't work the other way. Wisconsin didn't make Barry Alvarez.
Here's a topic that you like talking about a lot, and that is the extensions that LaFleur, Goody, and Russ Ball got. If Ed policy is wrong to have extended them all, and 2 years from now they all get blown out, is it Mark Murphy's fault?
No, because Ed policy had a chance to do something. Mark Murphy will take some, I don't know how much blame, because they've been good, but not great. So he will have failed. But policy comes in, he isn't beholden to anybody. He can do whatever he wants. He gives an extension, and they don't do any better than they've done. It's all on Ed policy. That's what your job is. That's why they pay you big money.
Homer,
how can anybody argue with my question to Alvarez? How's that? What?
No, I want to be on your side on this, but Jason brings up a good point. If anything, there's more separation from Barry to Mac because Mac ended up firing the guy that Barry Alvarez put in place for football and brought his own guy in. Barry is thrice removed from that.
No, Barry picked him, and he picked him assuming that McIntosh would make good decisions. McIntosh makes bad decisions. It's all on Barry.
Wait, do you hear what you're saying?
Yes.
If Chris McIntosh makes bad decisions, it's all on Barry Alvarez?
Told you there were two camps to this.
No different than Alvarez than anybody else. Why do we credit Bob Harlan? Why is he where he is? One reason.
Is it Bob Harlan's fault that Ron Wolf hired Ray Rhodes and that was a failure? Look, it's Barry Alvarez's fault that he hired Gary Anderson, who was not a good fit.
Well, by the way, it's funny you mentioned that up because Gary Anderson worked out for Barry, and McIntosh may as well because he's leaving for something else which benefits the university possibly. This could be the second coming of Anderson. But back to what you were saying. What? Yes,
I don't understand your argument.
What don't you understand?
I don't understand how this is all Barry's fault.
I didn't say Barry's been a bad AD. You assess all your decisions. You have some good, some bad. If you're all bad, if you're all good, just like you mentioned with Ron Wolf. But that doesn't take away from when you make a mistake. When you make a mistake, it's all on you, just like when you do it well, just like Pat Richter. What's the greatness of Pat Richter? Real simple. Barry Alvarez.
No?
Next. It doesn't mean we have to assess every decision Barry Alvarez has made. This was the discussion I was sure to be a part of it. Yes.
Barry Alvarez didn't hire Luke Fickell, and Chris McIntosh did, though.
Correct. But the AD position is more important than the coach position because that person hires him. When Barry's picking McIntosh, he's picking him based on his ability because Barry knows there's only one job that matters at Wisconsin, even more now than when McIntosh took over because of the financial part of it. Football used to be, I don't know, ask Barry, he's really smart, what percentage? Right now, because of the financial part of it, football might be 90%. Doesn't matter what you do in any other sport compared to football because of the amount of money now involved and the importance of money more than ever before.
Right, which is where my statement that he took issue with of saying where the athletic department is. Now, it's fair. That's fair that he pushed back on me, but I would say it's because of football.
Was ludicrous. No, Barry's response is ludicrous. I don't know upon what they judge a good AD. What do you mean? You held the damn position. You know exactly how they judge it.
Yeah, it's all about football, and if football is an issue,
more so than even right.
So, do you think so?
But how would you respond to that if you were Barry?
I would say we have to get football right, or whatever good we have in our athletic department currently is in peril.
Really wasn't the question. The question is if Chris McIntosh is the problem. How much of it's all on you? Not how much. It's all on you.
Okay, so let me ask you this: do you? Because we discussed this and I'm just going to put them out there.
By the way, I did want to say one other thing about Barry and emphasize it.
That
people don't understand enough how smart he is. Above everything else, the greatest aspect of Barry Alvarez is how smart he is. He doesn't say that. He doesn't. He's tough. Don't flinch. Never forget how smart he is. That's why he should be a part of any discussion and why it's hard to believe that McIntosh wouldn't still talk to him and why you can ask around the Big Ten people, as he stuck to always call Barry for various things. Why? Because he's really smart. And
so then you're not
football.
So you're not in that group then, even though you say that McIntosh's failure is all on Barry.
He may have messed up. I don't know the school and how bad they were at money. I don't know how much of that is McIntosh and how much is the school or that whole aspect of it.
Okay.
Incredibly slow, horrific in NIL, but only Barry knows. But he isn't going to say because it's his guy. He's going to defend his guy publicly.
But what you are saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, then is that you are not in the Tier 1 Tyler, Dr. Denver Dan in the YouTube comments, that crowd that does not want Barry Alvarez anywhere near the search process for the next athletic director. You think he should be consulted?
Always. Now, they may be saying they don't want him to be the AD. They don't want him to be – I'd let him be the interim AD.
Well, he and Tausch could be co-interim ADs because neither one said they want to be that job.
This comment with Tausch shows how much is funny he is. Like, understand when he says Tausch, McIntosh was an associate to him for how many years?
A long time, probably a decade.
A long time.
6 or 7,
now
I would
he's going to do an ex-player, but not require that. Come on. It was funny, but that's a mockery of the standard he set with McIntosh as a former player getting into. I don't believe McIntosh had any experience, right? In athletic.
Well, yeah, but he developed all that experience working.
Correct. So,
so
I think Alvarez, if McIntosh had left, might have hired Tausch to take his place and do the appropriate amount of prep work before being even considered in the slightest way as a replacement. But it was a good job.
How can you say it was all Barry's fault that McIntosh is hired and the things are the way they are, and then you say you want him to be the interim AD?
Because
Great question,
no one's
Jesse.
perfect, and he's made a lot of decisions as an AD. I assess all the decisions he's made and all the other decisions. And I don't know. He might say, that was just the question I would ask. He might say, you don't understand the financials and he had no money or whatever. But no, does one mistake, if in fact I just want him to be held responsible, plus I don't think Barry's ever taken the blame for anything publicly. So I'd like to see if we can get him to just say, yeah. But then he would say, well, I don't assume that he's the problem. But I don't think. But anyway, yeah, because I still believe in him. Who would be a good example of somebody who's messed up or made just one mistake out of many? And again, things have changed. That you would still believe in him.
All right. As much as I would love to continue this conversation,
Ron Wolf is a great example, which you brought up.
I love when you ask your own. You know what? I love when you ask and answer your own questions.
In fairness, neither of you answered the question.
He asked the question.
Yeah.
I didn't ask the question.
I did. Yeah, I did. No, I really.
Good job.
I know. You need
when
to be.
When did guys start getting so sensitive about being complimented? I just complimented you.
Just throws us off.
Great job, Homer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great job.
I didn't realize the compliment. Thank you. That's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because you have to go because you have your Uber responsibilities.
No, today it's My Faith with Homer and Pip. So we're doing it at 11 o'clock Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Is Tausch on?
Tausch has not done it yet. My favorite one, and Tausch should listen to it, is Mike Kelly. I have ultimate respect forever. He talked about his problems with his faith and was really honest, and I would think that everybody should listen to it. Ministers to understand how people feel. Most people wouldn't. He didn't want to do it, and I said, "You'll be fine. You can't. Nothing's wrong." But it was. Haven't been had another one like it, and it was spectacular.
Wait, I talked about my problems with my faith. You used to say that mine was your favorite.
Yours
it's Barry Alvarez's fault that I've been replaced.
You got bumped.
Nice. Yours, no, you got bumped. Yes.
Okay.
Because. But anyway, no.
I'm
more
fine.
Positive. You have a more positive faith than his.
Wow, that's that. I'm gonna have, my first call is going to be to Mike Kelly after I'm done with this show.
Way more. That's what was so special, man.
He's awesome. I love Mike.
Awesome.
I will call him after the show. Explain to us your current policy, not Ed policy, on the toupee. I have posted a side-by-side. You au natural versus you with your old school toupee back on. I'm telling you, it looks more gelled up or mousse. I don't know what you put in it, but it looks more modernized on your head now than it did back in the TV days What's going on there?
It may have been the fact that it's been sitting around for 23 years, but nothing's ever been added to it. I put it on and adjust my hair in 2 minutes, a couple pieces of tape, boom, it's on. My plan is in the future when I check with the Brewers, so that at 5 o'clock people will know whether the dome is open or closed based on whether I have my hairpiece on or not.
Okay, hairpiece
That is
on,
so awesome.
dome closed.
I love it.
Correct. Yeah.
Hairpiece
off,
not on.
Dome open, baby.
Dome
Natural.
open.
Just like, you bet. Yep.
Love it.
Are you going to do this for day
That's
games
the
when the game's over before you go on the air?
No, I'm there here to help people. The only games that would apply to are home evening games. I mean, I guess I could put it on as an indication of what occurred in the afternoon game, but that seems a little excessive. I'll maybe have to. Jason, you think that would be good?
Yes, I am all
show.
in on this. It's like
Okay, I don't wear it the whole
1996
show.
all over again.
What about road games in like Seattle or Arizona where they have a roof?
No. It's for the fans going to the game. That's just that's showing off or being stupid. I don't know.
Just a quick follow-up. Where do you keep it when it's not on? Is there a specific case that you put it on? Do you put it on a mannequin head?
I have it in a plastic bag right now, along with my tape and my little brush. But no, it's never been. This is not like the Dick Van Dyke Show where Carl Reiner, when you go to his office, he had his hairpiece on something. That's my only memory of a hairpiece. No, it's
okay.
Sometimes I have the second one that has purple paint on top of it from a Bucks bet I made. So.
Okay. Well, good luck with my faith and my toupee with Homer and Pip. And
Yeah,
I'll
I
talk
hope
to you
and
later
everybody
today.
else listens to or watches Mike Kelly. It's man, what a special person. Bye.
He is special. All right, that is Steve the Homer True. I don't know if you've seen the side-by-side comparison.
I'll have it for us next segment here for those who are looking for it.
For those of you that are curious, we will have that for you next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
I started our landscaping company, Brett Ochtenhagen's Seasonal Services, in 1994. We have other businesses, a trucking company, investment properties, and we board and raise quarter horses. I met Chris from Horicon Bank over 20 years ago, and we really hit it off. A few years back, we made our largest capital commitment ever. Chris understood our vision, supported it, and 5 years later, our annual equipment maintenance costs are down, and our fleet is amazing. Chris and Horicon Bank helped make that happen.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Courts. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we believe in doing things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you could find the same trusted products you want and need at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Right now, during our battery-powered tool sale, new Ego battery-powered push mowers are up to $100 off. 16 packs of Blaine's brand AA or AAA batteries, $7.99. Rewards members save an extra $1. And assorted S-Wing hammers are 20% off. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Homer here for Window Nation. Spring is a great time to open your windows and, wait, your windows won't open? They leak or crack or need repairing? Again? During Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off, plus you could get 0 interest for 5 years. And as a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers, ask how you could score a pair of Brewers tickets. During uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is your home. Visit windownation.com now to book a consultation.
Heading to Milwaukee's east side? Make Veer North your first stop. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Alex Stroh. Here to tell you at Veer North you can catch the big game, hop on a shuttle to the stadium, or hang out for live music all summer long. Elevated food, craft drinks, and a packed event lineup. Veer North knows how to keep the energy going as the weather starts to warm up. Close to Fiserv Forum, Summerfest, and UWM. It's the perfect place to pregame, postgame, or just stay for the whole thing. Veer North, right where Milwaukee comes together.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Steve the Homer True. All right, so for those of you that are listening on the radio or on the audio podcast or you're streaming the audio, this is on social media. Steve the Homer True has brought back his infamous toupee that he used to wear on WISN 12 News back in the day, which is many, many years ago now. Tausch, your thoughts on the quality and authenticity of his fake hair?
I love the fact that Homer is an entertainer and he is not above or below putting himself out there.
Yeah.
That's why he's the GOAT. He's not afraid of, he says outlandish things, and he does things. He's trying to entertain, man, and he's trying to be informative by letting everybody know if the roof is going to be open. I think it's great. I love it.
I do as well. And I will talk to him later today on the Homer Hour, and you can tune into that every weekday from 5 till 6 on ESPN Milwaukee 94.5 ESPN. We will get to the 11 o'clock hour after I tell you again, look, you don't have to hop on a plane with the fuel surcharges and everything else. That's an expensive proposition. You don't have to get on a cruise ship, which maybe you get seasick. If you want to escape, all you got to do, your next getaway, is right in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay. Biggest hotel rooms in all of Milwaukee. Nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites that are perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big. And you're just steps away from all the cool stuff that's happening inside. Plus, if you're hungry, you got all kinds of options. Dream Dance Steakhouse, The Marketplace, Rockin' Brews, Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, Cream City Coffee Company. There's food and drink specials happening all the time. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark
Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? TSPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at WalneyLegal.com.
You've always been competitive. At work, in the gym, even with your kids. But lately you feel off. Workouts take longer to recover from. Your drive just isn't there. You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back the energy to being dad again. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
You ever notice that some people are picky when it comes to their beer? But Yuengling gets it. That's why they brew a beer for every taste. Start with a legend, a Yuengling traditional lager, a smooth amber lager that's been around longer than our great football rivalries. Then there's light lager. It's crisp and easy drinking. Golden Pilsner with a clean, refreshing taste, and the Black and Tan, a perfect blend of porter and Pilsner. Whether I'm tailgating, watching the game at a sports bar, just kicking back, I'm reaching for a Yuengling. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins with one of the things I'm disappointed about the Packers not having a first-round pick. Now, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong. You have not changed your mind. You are not doing a montage heading into the first night of the National Football League draft in 2026.
As of now, I'm taking the year off.
Well, you've earned it.
We've
year.
There's coming off the Green Bay hosting it last year, no first round pick, like little to no buzz for Packers fans on how this team's going to get better in the NFL draft. It just doesn't feel like it warrants a montage the way some of our past years have. You know?
Tausch, agree or disagree?
I agree. Jesse has when there's a lot of things I'll disagree with Jesse about. And do I think that, well, I'm not going to get into all of Jesse's flaws because Jesse does do a really good job. But I would think of all the things like he does, montages are at the top of his list.
Yes, agreed.
So I am not going to critique if he thinks something is montage worthy. He puts in the time, the effort, and he delivers a really good result. What are we going to montage Micah Parsons' season? Because that's what Thursday night will be.
So
I'm with him. I agree.
All right. So here's the thing, and I want to be clear. I'm not walking around muttering to myself, constantly thinking about this. But it has crossed my mind multiple times. The two disappointments I have, because you know I love the draft. I hate the build-up. I hate everybody posting their 17th 7-round mock draft and all this other stuff. But I love the draft. And we go into Thursday for the first time since I was in grade school. 1986. Without a first-round pick for the Green Bay Packers. Now, there's been years where they didn't execute one, but they traded back. Then they had an extra pick on the second round or whatever it might have been. But the two things that I'm trying to figure out is, one, the heck am I going to write on that first night? What are we going to do on our draft coverage? Remember when they traded for Micah Parsons? That was awesome. And what am I going to do without a montage on Thursday morning? Jesse, I understand where you're coming from on this. But they have been legendary. And I don't throw that phrase around willy-nilly.
That's strong. Legendary strong.
The one where he used
some that have been really good, but some have not.
The one that he used the Jonas Brothers for, was that the first one? What a man got to do?
Mm-hmm. That's what kicked it all off.
I would argue that one was perfection. Perfection.
Well, I do have an idea.
Oh!
I do have an idea.
Okay.
We could start this right now and do it up until Thursday.
We're going to do AI montages?
No.
Chat Jesse PT?
I have them all from years past.
Like a greatest hits album?
Since this year's draft stinks, we could do an entire review, because you always say you can't judge a draft class by this year anyway. When you first make the picks, everyone gives the
3
grades.
years.
So what if we do a daily feature starting right now up until next Thursday, day one of the draft, and we play back the montages from years past, and we grade how each Packers draft class was for Brian Gutekunst.
What a great
and Matt
idea,
LaFleur.
Jesse.
How about that?
That's a great idea.
Ah.
Really
All right,
well
so
done.
today's Thursday. So we have today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You're telling me you got 6 of these holstered?
I haven't double checked for sure, but I believe they're all there.
That sounds about right. I'm not. We're gonna get to Thursday and we're gonna be out of them.
I know the first one's in there, so yeah, and I can play that for you right now if you really are craving a montage.
I will say this: the first one remains my favorite. It was new. It was fresh. The other ones have been great. Don't get me wrong. Again, I stand by legendary, but this one, I am a Jonas Brothers fan as well, which I know comes as a surprise to no one. But this one was the GOAT, in my opinion. And it was such, I think the reason why I loved it as much as I did, not only for the music choice, but I didn't know it was coming. Like, this was the beginning of your incredible journey as a montager.
Where it all began. Yeah.
Instead, every other year, we subsequently expected them. And now, obviously, we're not getting one this year because you're taking a gap year. All right, so here it is without further ado. So what year's draft is this,
This is 2020, where it all began, the COVID draft. Jordan Love, selected by the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers with his 4 fingers of tequila and all that fun stuff that ensued that season. Without further ado.
With the 30th pick, the Green Bay Packers select.
I'm not sure what they are thinking at this point.
I got the guy that I really like.
I don't envision wideout that early.
Thinking of a team like the Packers, someone like Vaughn is really interesting.
I've met with them a few times, actually. Mike Pettin in that defense, they like to move a lot of guys around, and I think that's where I would fit into that defense.
Jonathan Taylor.
If it was 1985, 95, Jonathan Taylor would be a top 10 pick.
You've heard talk of Matt possibly thinking about adding a third back, so you never know.
The way he just eyes up a defense, you see him looking and trying to pre-snap determination of what's going on there. He's really an instinctive, smart runner.
Quintez Cephas.
Personally, I would love to play for the Packers. I've always watched Aaron Rodgers growing up. A really deep receiver class.
How about Tyler Biadasz?
I'd say 2nd or 3rd round right now for Tyler.
To me, he has the look of a starting offensive center in the NFL.
Chris Orr.
I've always had a chip on my shoulder.
He's been incredibly durable.
They really thought I wasn't that athletic of a guy, and I answered those questions. You can see that that's true, with the interest rising.
Gutekunst has said that he's always going to do his work on the quarterbacks, and he would not shy away from it if the right guy was there.
If they were to pick a quarterback on the first 2 days, how would you feel?
I'm confident enough. It doesn't matter who you bring in, they're not going to be able to beat me out anytime soon.
If not receiver at 30, then what?
They haven't taken a receiver in the first round in 18 years. So why do it now with one of the deepest classes
at that position.
Offensive tackle, Ezra Cleveland, Boise State.
Josh Jones, the tackle from Houston.
TCU defensive tackle, Ross Blacklock.
It just gives you more opportunities to do everything you want in your offense.
We have a chance to win it. The window is open. I would love to go back to Wisconsin. I mean, that's a second home to me.
It feels great to be in this position. A lot of stuff had to go through to get here where I am. I just want a chance to play in the NFL.
Yeah. And then they took Jordan Love.
So, a couple interesting things there. First of all, remember the good old days when we used to have a bunch of Badgers NFL prospects all come on the show leading up to the draft?
That was fun. Yeah.
We need to get back to that, Barry Alvarez and whoever the next athletic director is. That's one. Two, I do remember that conversation with Rodgers, and I do remember asking him that specific question, and that being his response. And he did keep Jordan Love on the bench for 3 years. I do wonder, and I will always wonder, it's great that they have Jordan Love now. He is a good to very good NFL quarterback who still has plenty of room to grow. I will always wonder if there was a player that would have made a difference in that draft. And for the folks that want to take 9 losing seasons to win a Super Bowl every 10 years, was that a missed opportunity? And was that a year that
Do you
they
have
might
those same questions about the 05 draft?
No, because you guys weren't in the NFC Championship game in 04.
We won the division and hosted a playoff game that's the year before, and we drafted a quarterback.
Not the same. Not the same. And you had you had a quarterback who was talking about retiring for 4 years previous to that, and Rodgers was not. So, no, I don't feel the same way, and it's not because of Rodgers.
In fairness, Rodgers' numbers were not MVP, and he was not as good as he was in his MVP seasons leading into that draft either.
They still played in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but quarterback's not a win-loss deal.
Now you can argue. Now you can argue.
Now.
I'm just glad you're talking. That you went from the NFC Championship game, careful, in 07 to then turning it over to the heir apparent in 08. And Brett Favre, whether he overplayed his hand, thinking that Ted and Mike would beg him to come back for another year or not, I don't know. But you can argue that you should have tried one more year with Brett Favre as the quarterback in 08. That if you want to argue, and I could say, well, yeah, okay, I see your point. But no, 05 was different. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers was being discussed as the number 1 overall pick, and he fell to them at 24. Goody traded up and took Jordan Love. So I just don't think they're apples to apples. I just don't.
Okay. All right.
Be that as it may, Jesse, we're still a round of trivia behind this week, right?
We are, and I've made the executive decision. Tomorrow will be double trivia Wisconsin geography Friday. So we will do 2 contestants tomorrow.
And this is only preliminary, but we can't do trivia at 9:45 tomorrow because we may, hopefully will, be joined from the tailgate tour by Evan Williams. Okay. Now, that is a preliminary plan. I cannot guarantee it, but I would go so far as to say he is penciled in as scheduled to appear as we hopefully get to chat with him.
And without any of us...
Can we get Micah Parsons to join, or Micah Hyde to join us, like as a surprise, like... This is the guy Jason brought in.
Would have been even better.
Just have Evan Williams pass the phone over to Micah Hyde.
And he's not on the tour. If he was, that would be even better.
I thought he was.
But no, I would have to. I could text Micah too. Sure, I'll inquire. But I'm excited if we can make that happen because we missed Evan yesterday. Yesterday? Was that yesterday? I'm losing track of the days. Earlier this week when the tour left, I guess that was Tuesday, as he was unable to make it in time because of some travel problems. But that is the hope for tomorrow, so you'll want to tune in for that. Evan is one of the really, really good talkers in that locker room, and we can get some insight into what he's thinking about this defense. Before we can do that, we have to finish today's show. And before we can finish today's show, we have to play trivia. Jesse, what is today's category, and which caller would you like?
Well, kicking off our draft look-back series with that montage, today's trivia category, which 2020 Packers draft pick am I?
I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I see it.
Which 2020 Packers draft pick am I? There were 9 in the class.
If it's 2020, then let's take caller 20. And then does that mean you're doing 21 and 22 tomorrow?
We'll see.
Okay. Caller 20 right now. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 20 plays trivia. Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf, Cousin Subs, and Iron Jock. Trivia's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Need a quick, delicious way to fuel your day? Try one of our new protein power plays from Cousin Subs. Power Ham, Power Turkey, Power Club, Power Tuna. 4 craveable 5-inch subs on freshly baked Italian bread. Packed with protein, up to 33 grams. All for just $7.99 for a limited time. It's the flavor you love with the fuel you need. Grab a protein power play in store, online, or on the Cousin Subs app today. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Michelob Ultra is brewed here. So is the grit that takes U.S. soccer players to the world's biggest stage. The excitement that fills a stadium before a single ball is kicked. The feeling when we rally together behind one team. From the pitch to the pour, Superior is brewed here. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the U.S. men's national soccer team. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritwear is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritwear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritwear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Wilde and Tausch back with you. Before we get to trivia, Tausch, important question. Okay. You had a very successful National Football League career, 11 seasons in the show. How much do you think confidence and belief in yourself was critical to your success?
High 90%.
Well, then you're going to have to give a pep talk to Tim in Thiensville because I don't like his attitude. Time now for trivia, presented by Vortex Golf, Cousin Subs, and Iron Jock.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is presented by Iron Jock. No stink, just performance. And proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. By Cousin Subs. Try the new Protein Power Plays. For subs loaded with protein and made with fresh ingredients you love. All for just $7.99. And by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Jesse, before we welcome Tim in, tell us what Tim said on the phone.
I've played once before, and I was awful then, too.
I don't like the then, too, right?
Yeah,
because that's like assuming
Yeah,
you're going to be awful again.
Yeah.
It's a polluted mindset, Mike McCarthy might tell him. Tim?
Very polluted.
We're getting after you, buddy. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thanks a lot. I love the show, but I don't know if I'm going to listen to it anymore now after this.
Very fair. All right, let's get all three of these right, and let's prove yourself wrong.
Honestly, it's just because I don't come from Wisconsin, so I'm not big on Wisconsin sports, and I don't remember what the subject was going to be for today's questions.
It is the 2020 Packers draft picks. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a chance that I would have gotten number 3 wrong. So, in the immortal words of Mark Tauscher in Taken, good luck. Here's question 1.
Thank you.
Former Wisconsin Badgers head football coach Gary Anderson coached me in college. Which 2020 Packers draft pick am I? Am I Jordan Love, Jonathan Garvin, or Tanner McAvoy?
Garvin.
Okay, so you may be the level of your self-awareness may be high enough that I'm going to owe you an apology when we're done. Jordan Love played for Gary Anderson at Utah State. So that is question 1, and I'm gonna be honest.
Sorry, I didn't even know the coach.
Question 2 is not any easier. Here we go. Question 2, Tim, is this: I currently play for the Carolina Panthers. Which 2020 Packers draft pick am I? Am I Josiah DeGuara, A.J. Dillon, or Kamal Martin?
A.J. Dillon.
Yes!
Yeah.
All right, you will not get shut out. It is official. All right, question 3.
Oh, side note, A.J. Dillon doing a fun his foundation event up at the Pickler in Green Bay coming up in, I don't know, probably a month.
Yeah, he's doing it on a Saturday, though. You want to do a special Saturday edition of the show?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Would he be there Friday?
No.
Sunday Scramble. Why don't we do that Sunday
Saturday
Scramble?
Scramble.
Saturday
Great
Scramble.
idea.
Hang on.
That's Saturday
Just
Scramble.
scheduling
That's a
remote
great idea.
for other shows.
On ESPN Madison, we have the Saturday Scramble from 10 a.m. to noon. Then we have
that's a great
Sunday
idea.
Karma on ESPN Wisconsin. Craig Karmazin runs our company, Tausch. You might want to know about
Founded
that show. Yeah, founded it. 10 to noon, Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin.
Yeah, I usually
Sunday
join
mornings.
around 10:30. All right, Tim. You had some momentum going. I want to apologize for interrupting it with our Pickler discussion. Question 3 is this.
This is the doozy.
This is ridiculous. Besides Kamal Martin, I was the only other defensive player selected by the Packers in the 2020 draft class. Which Packers draft pick am I? Am I Simon Stepanak, Vernon Scott, or Jake Hansen?
Woof. Vernon Scott.
Let's go! So the two guys were offensive linemen. Great work. Tim, the very rare...
Tim crushed it.
First one wrong.
For not knowing anything, that was pretty good.
Second two right means you've got 3 of the possible 4 entries into tomorrow's drawing. Hey, buddy, thanks for playing. We appreciate your loyalty to the show, and if my mean-spirited words towards you cause you to stop listening, well, it's your loss.
It's my loss. No, man, I love you guys. You're great.
All right, thanks, Tim. We love you too. Thank you very much. That was fun.
I'm pulling for Tim to win. I hope Tim wins this week.
Yeah, sure.
I normally don't do that, but I'm going to pull for Tim.
Nothing against the other 2 contestants that we have yet to have that we will have sometime tomorrow.
You say you normally don't pull for anybody in trivia, and I feel like you say that every week when you say you're pulling for somebody.
It does happen more than you'd think.
Is that right?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Thanks, Jesse.
That is Will the Tausch Trivia presented by Cousin Subs, Iron Jock, and Vortex Golf. Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Will the Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
There's nothing more meaningful that you can do for yourself, your family, or your friends than finally getting rid of that pain so they can enjoy time with you again, especially heading into vacation season. QC Kinetics takes care of your pain in the office, and you go right on with your day. It's that easy. If you say yes to any of these questions, you are the kind of patient that QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help every single day. If you have consistent joint pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, the pain keeps you from getting a good night's sleep. If you're missing work or saying no to activities that you enjoy, if you don't want surgery or a long recovery, and you feel like you're at the end of your rope, taking medications every day just to get through. If you answered yes to any one of those, today could be your day to turn that corner and finally get relief. With locations in Mequon and Greenfield, plus weekend appointments, QC Kinetics treatments are made easy, done in office, and you go about your day. The consultation is absolutely free, so don't wait. Give them a call today at 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount liquor. Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
It is time for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
Well, I got a few things to talk about with you guys today. Brewers and NBA playoffs, but it's not every day that a brand new postseason tournament is created.
Is it going to be for only teams with losing records in basketball?
It is not. No, it's not the Crown or anything with a B and an I and a T in it. No, this is a new Big Ten tournament. Not for football, not for basketball. Volleyball. Here on ESPN Madison, 100.5 ESPN Madison. We are the home of Wisconsin Badgers volleyball. And the Big Ten Conference announcing earlier today something that head coach Kelly Sheffield strongly hinted at an event that we held at North and South Seafood and Smokehouse here in Madison back in February. The Big Ten will introduce a brand new 15-team Big Ten postseason tournament, crowning a champion. It starts on the Friday, the week before Thanksgiving, and concludes on the Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving. So over about a 5-day span. The brand new Big
Why
Ten.
15? First off, I love this. I think it's great. But why 15? Why not
Great
16?
question, Tausch.
I think what we saw with remember the men's basketball tournament expanded to include all 18 teams for the first time this year. And
nobody was more excited about Oregon-Washington on a Tuesday night where they all had to fly in and play. Nobody was more fired up for those guys than
I think what we saw was some teams probably thought that was not a great use of their money for their athletic departments to fly in and try to win 6 games in 6 days. And when you're looking at other sports that are not as revenue generating at all schools, like women's basketball and volleyball and hockey and everything, like they're going to look for ways that they could probably save a few bucks if it doesn't seem to be financially worth it. That is me theorizing. I do not know that. I do not know that for sure, but that is my reasoned opinion on the matter, that they probably view it as whoever's finishing last in the Big Ten does not view it as a good use of resources to fly or bus their team into Fishers, Indiana, where this tournament will be held.
What?
Fishers, Indiana. Anyone familiar?
It's outside Indianapolis.
Isn't everything in Indiana?
Good one, Jesse. That's true.
Like, I don't actually know where Fishers, Indiana is. I'm sure it's nice. Would have been nice at the Alliant Energy Center or Pfizer Forum.
Why an odd number, though? Are you going to give one team a bye and everybody else plays? Or
Great question. No, that's what they did for
structuring
the basketball tournaments. Had 15 teams when they first expanded to 18 teams in the conference.
So the top 4 get off, and then the next 4 get a next.
Yeah,
round.
you basically it's 3 play-in games, and then you have a first round, a first set of teams with byes, a second set of teams with byes, and then semifinal and championship.
So you'll be down there for that, would be my guess.
I got to figure out where Fishers, Indiana is, but I'd consider making the trip down and doing some on-site coverage.
I heard it's outside of Indy.
It is a suburb. I'm here to help. It is a suburb of Indianapolis. I'm looking at their website right now, fishersin.gov. So if you've been planning a vacation, you can find out more about Fishers, Indiana. It looks like they have they got a police force and a fire department.
That's good.
They have parks.
Hotels? We got hotels?
Well, I have not come across what the venue might be yet, but I'm still working on that. So the Fishers Event Center.
That's where they're playing it. It's in the press release here. Yeah.
The Fisher from Indy Fuel Hockey to high school basketball games and concert tours, the 7,500-seat Fishers Event Center in the Fishers District brings entertainment right to our community. So there you go. The Fishers Event Center will be the home of the Big Ten volleyball tournament.
And maybe we'll play it in Kaukauna next year.
Whoa, Nelly! Hoping to get it at the Schwabenon Performing Arts Center. Whoa, Nelly!
What, do they think like Lucas Oil's is gonna be too big, or why not just put it in the Big Dog?
Well, and fine if Lucas Oil Stadium is too large, don't they have? I don't know what they call the Pacers
Market Square Arena.
That's what it's because we're older. That was my
I think
first
Pfizer Forum is a good fit. Like, I think you should do this in NBA stadiums.
Alliant Energy Center, host of Love Madison Volleyball. I'm sure they'd be happy to accommodate. Yeah.
So, just for the record, I love this. I think Kelly Sheffield's done a great job of really putting pressure on networks and it's continuing to get more and more popular. It does great numbers. It's a great. I think this is an awesome idea. Great job by everybody involved to get that done.
It is the home of the Indy Ignite, which is a professional women's volleyball team. They're in the Pro Volleyball Federation, which I don't know what league that is. They also have the Fishers Freight, which is an indoor football team. So 7,500 capacity for the Fishers Event Center.
Whoa, Nelly! Do they sell ice cream there? Just,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Do you really? Do we really think we gave them so much advertising that everyone's traveling to Fishers, Indiana?
I don't know more than they gave us. I promise you this: more than they gave us. That
well,
I
maybe
know.
we can do the show from there.
I don't think there's a sports show in America today talking more about Fishers, Indiana than this one. I can tell you that.
No, I don't even think Fishers, Indiana. ESPN Fisher, Indiana's not doing that. What else can we say about Fisher, Indiana?
ESPN Fishers. Some overlap with ESPN.
Make sure you spell Fishers right. That could be real uncomfortable.
Covering Indiana's best sports just outside of Indianapolis.
Whoa, Nelly!
Okay, NBA play-in tournament last night. Steph Curry threw back the clock, had a great game leading the Golden State Warriors to a win at the Intuit Dome over the LA Clippers, bouncing the Clippers from the playoffs.
Tell us more about the Intuit Dome.
The 37 is a nice facility from what I hear. The 37-45 Golden State Warriors advance. They will face elimination again on Friday evening against the Trailblazers, I believe. Here's the question. We talked about this with the Super Bowl when the New England Patriots were the big underdog against the Seahawks, and all week long everybody was saying, there's no way you can look at the New England Patriots as an underdog ever. The Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry are 8 games under 500. They were the underdog last night. They'll be the underdog should they advance any further in this thing. Can you view them as an underdog after the dynasty that they had here over the last decade plus with 4 NBA titles to their name?
Yes. Yeah, they stink. Steph Curry had an awesome night. I think they had somebody else step up. Draymond shut down Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter. But they stunk. They were injured. Steph was injured all year. Steve Kerr said that this is the last days, the dying days of a dynasty. He ain't wrong.
He said that.
So they're underdogs. Yeah, if they could pull off and go play Oklahoma City and beat them, that would be something. But nobody thinks that's going to happen.
And I stand corrected. They play the Phoenix Suns on Friday night for their final play-in game in the Western Conference. Yeah, my bad. Warriors Suns.
Who do the Bucks play next?
Unsure.
Whoa, Nelly!
Pickup game with Shams, from what I have been seeing.
Aren't they playing in the in some game against Russia? I keep hearing that on our air. Aren't they playing Russia?
Yeah, it's in India.
Whoa, Nelly!
Some sort.
And a Milwaukee Brewers update for you this morning. The Brewers won a game last night.
Hey-o!
First time in a week, snap a 6-game skid, and it was in comeback fashion. Offense was stagnant until it started raining inside American Family Field with the roof closed.
That was wild.
And apparently it was good luck because the Brewers score 2 in the bottom of the 8th, and then Abner Uribe comes in the 9th to close the game and shut down the Blue Jays 1-2-3.
Anybody boo him? Get booed or not?
No, they might have given him a ooh for Uribe.
Oh.
That'd be fun.
It's a better way to do it.
Now, McGill threw a bunch of pitches on Tuesday night, so this
is not necessarily a change.
Could just be a pitch count. You know, he needed a night to get situated kind of thing. But Uribe was the one who filled in when McGill was hurt for the first half of last year. You think we're ready for a closer change for the Milwaukee Brewers with Uribe coming in 1-2-3, stopping the skid?
Yeah, I would bet if we're ahead today and we're in the same position, I would bet that old Abner is back out there.
Okay. We will have to wait and see. What kind of blowback, if any, did Jesse's favorite manager, who we have to have a conversation about, was there any blowback from him basically saying he doesn't want people booing? Because it wasn't the same as Barry Alvarez basically saying, don't come to the games, go to a bar and boo. But again, it was telling fans what to do. Did he get any negative feedback that you saw, Jesse?
No. Pat Murphy could pretty much say anything at this point, and it'll be fine. Yeah, it is what it is.
As I said yesterday, that is exactly what he should do. Like, he doesn't have. It's not like he did. I think he called fans not day ones, or he made some reference.
Those aren't our
best
fans.
In essence,
not our tier ones.
Best fans. There you go.
Right.
I don't have any problem at all with what he did. He's sticking up for his player, and that's his main job. He wants the fans to be happy and come out and enjoy their day at the park, but that is the least of his concerns. His concern is, boy, my guy's confidence is shaken. I'm not going to pile on. I'm going to defend him publicly, and that's what he did. And then he also decided to put Abner in there. So it's about winning ball games. That's what this is about. And he knows he needs McGill to be ready to help in whatever, if it's a setup role, if it's getting back the closer job, whatever it is, he needs him to get that confidence and to regain his form, or he knows that his job is winning games. It's going to be that much more difficult.
I'll be really curious if today has a save situation, what they decide to do. If they go Uribe.
Abner.
You think?
Abner.
Yeah.
Abner.
Well, we will see. You just like
saying Abner.
Yeah.
So what? I like saying Uribe, too. Both are fun. Very rare do you have two names that are both fun to say.
It's true. As Matt LaFleur would tell you got to wake up with your Uribe hat. All right, we need to wrap things up. No? Come on, I got a smile from Tausch. No?
I mean,
was that a courtesy smile?
What do you want me to do?
Good try.
I'm complimenting you. You get mad at me. I don't know exactly. I'm not sure where you want me to be. I'm confused.
Oh, I know where I want you to be.
By the way, Dennis Semrau and I have the call of a high school baseball game this afternoon. Yeah?
Oh, nice. The Battle of Sun Prairie.
I was going to give that the final segment, but again.
Well, there's a big partnership announcement that the Green Bay Packers just put out that could be the last segment. I was at the launch event last night. I saw Luke Musgrave and Lucas Van Ness.
Was he being examined?
Got a chance to talk.
We will
talk to both those guys.
We'll wrap things up with that. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Doc Rivers is out as the Bucs head coach.
Is it good for Giannis? Is it bad for Giannis?
You can't help but wonder if everything the Bucs are going to do between now and, pick a day is going to be to put themselves in a good position. When it comes to Giannis, could they go out there and get someone who Giannis respects, admires, wants to play for?
Will Giannis stay with the Bucs? Who's going to be the next head coach? Get everything you need to know right here. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And while buying a home is a big deal, it certainly doesn't have to be and shouldn't be a stressful experience. At Great Midwest Bank, we combine competitive rates, fast pre-approvals, and honest advice from knowledgeable loan officers to help you every step of the way through your home buying or building journey. For 90 years, our customers have been part of the GMB family. Experience a state of tranquility at GreatMidwestBank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
The Island Resort and Casino welcomes you to another unforgettable golf season at Sweetgrass and Sage Run. Beginning in July, Stay and Play guests can preview the brand new 9-hole Cedar course, inspired by the golden age of golf. At the Island, your golf trip becomes a full resort experience with relaxing spa treatments and exceptional dining to thrilling casino action. Courses open May 1st. Plan your golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
Michelob Ultra is brewed here. So is the grit that takes U.S. soccer players to the world's biggest stage. The excitement that fills a stadium before a single ball is kicked. The feeling when we rally together behind one team. From the pitch to the pour, Superior is brewed here. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the U.S. men's national soccer team. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
An open house like no other, our Siding Unlimited and Outdoor Living Unlimited open house brings in product reps so you can see, touch, feel the product, and talk to the manufacturer reps directly from Pella, Sunrise, Marvin Windows and Doors, LP SmartSide, CertainTeed Roofing, TimberTech Decking, County Pavers, and Screen Rooms. Everything is here for your next project at one place, one time on Saturday, April 25th from 9 to 1 p.m. Details at sidingunlimited.com and outdoorlivingunlimited.com.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on
fresh assorted pork chops, $1.99 a pound. 1 pound fresh strawberries, $2.99. 7 to 8 ounce selected varieties, Kraft shredded or chunk cheese, 2 for $5. 13.05 to 28.9 ounce selected varieties, culinary circle pizza, 2 for $9.
Safe.
What?
It's a long fly ball.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance. Win Century Foods Ultimate Fan Experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville Famous Sausage Race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, What do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Oh, no, what happened here?
Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day.
I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
The Green Bay Packers announcing a new partnership and a naming rights deal. Not for the entire stadium, just for the North Gate.
Can't scare people like that.
Well, I think people knew kind of what I might have been doing there.
That would have been remarkable if they had done that.
You like that one, don't you? You know that you felt good about that.
I didn't know if you understood it or not because you're not down in this market. Now, obviously, with this new partnership, they're going to be up in your market, if that makes sense.
Indeed. And that is because UW Health is the new official health partner of the Green Bay Packers. They made the announcement today. Tausch, I didn't realize that you were at an event last night for this. Tell us more about that, because I just have a press release.
Yeah, there was an event last night to kind of celebrate the launch of it, and then obviously I was not able to speak on that because it's their news, and they broke it, I don't know, at
You're such a good
secret
keeper.
Thank you. They did their big press thing this morning over at the American Family Children's Hospital, and obviously Sarah and I are involved in that. We do a lot of stuff there. So I think this is an opportunity, I think, for UW Health to kind of spread its wings a little bit and get in, obviously tying in with a iconic franchise like the Green Bay Packers, getting a gate, and I believe there's more to be announced as that goes, but it's a big move for UW Health, and I'm sure everybody over with all the care that they do and what they do with the Children's Hospital, I know they're incredibly excited about this partnership.
They are also the presenting sponsor of Packers Training Camp and Packers Family Nights. Is there a possibility, given your long history with UW Health and the AmFam Children's Hospital, is there a chance that you might be asked to cut some sort of ribbon, either for the start of training camp or for the new gates? And do we need to call in Dan Kelly to coach you up a little bit? I don't know how much ribbon cutting experience you have.
Why would I be cutting a ribbon for
because
that?
You are affiliated with UW Health with all the great stuff you and Sarah do for the Children's Hospital.
That's at the American Family Children's Hospital. Yep,
which is part of UW
no,
Health.
I will. Yeah, I will not be.
You're a former Packer.
I'm 100% certain. Yeah,
you're the next athletic director.
I will not be cutting. I'm always amazed at how much stuff you throw at me. I will not be cutting the ribbon, and I would definitely not be asking Dan Kelly. No offense, I love Dan. He butchered those American Family Dream Drive. Like, he struggled with those scissors now.
The low point of his career was those scissors.
For as much as, I mean, the guy he's a whiz. Like, he crushed it for, I don't know how many years he was at American Family Insurance. And, I think his only weak spot was those big old scissors. Like, that was just something he really struggled with.
I'm so thankful to do this show with you because while you got after me for the suggestion, you went exactly where I was hoping you would go. Because we love Dan Kelly on this show, and we love to give him a hard time for his scissors work. And and we all forget that one year where he, like, I don't know if he practiced or what, but he had a clean cut. Like, boom, perfect. But we always forget about that.
That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
The ribbon cutting world comes at you fast. All right, we got to go. That's it for us today.
That would be a big part of a lot of athletic director responsibilities for you, though. All the ribbon. They got a lot of new facilities.
Yeah, just another reason I'm not going to do it. That's just another reason. But
that is it for us today. Sorry, Dan Kelly. We still love you, buddy. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat